Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are San Diego.
A wild and windy day on the north side, and the trade winds have brought the Padres a new infielder. Their acquisition from the Yankees, switch-hitting Yangervis Solarte will start at second base tonight against the Chicago Cubs as we welcome you to a very breezy day in Chicago. It's 30 degrees colder than last night as we play the 100th game of the season in 100-year-old Wrigley Field. The Padres and Cubs in Game 2 of this three-game series. Mark Grant and Dick Enberg recovering from his vocals of last night. I hope you got a chance to hear his seventh-inning crooning as we go to Cameron Maybin, an acquisition coming up from El Paso because of this news. Cameron Maybin suspended for 25 games, violating the MLB drug program. He was using something for his ADD, so they called up Jeff Francoeur.
Hey, Jeff Francoeur is 30 years old, hit .294 in El Paso for the AAA Chihuahuas. He's a veteran. He's a corner outfielder. He can play right field. He can play left field. But the main thing is here, 9 seasons in the major leagues. This brings some veteran leadership, someone who's used to playing at the big league level, and Jeff Francoeur, hopefully the right-handed bat can supply some power in the Padres lineup. And
on the mound will be strikeout throwing Ian Kennedy. Kennedy looking for his 8th win of the season. But the big news today involving Cameron Maybin, he will not be available for the next 25 games, serving a suspension. And Chris Button, more on that news when we return to Chicago.
Maybin suspended for 25 games for violating Major League Baseball's drug policy. Cameron says he suffers from ADD and is taking medication that was previously okayed but did not go through the proper procedures, and that's what caused him to test positive. He released this statement today, has not spoke to the media, but released this statement, quote, I want to assure everyone that this was a genuine effort to treat my condition, and I was not trying in any way to gain an advantage in my baseball career. I understand that I must accept responsibility for this mistake. I will take my punishment, and I will not challenge my suspension. Guys, he said he would speak to the media when he gets back from his 25-game suspension, but in the move, that brings Jeff Francoeur up here to Chicago with the Padres, guys.
The offense was for amphetamine. It's his second offense for his ADD. So Cameron Maybin won't be available until late in August for Bud Black. As boy, what a tumultuous last 3 weeks it's been for Bud Black. Well, here's some order. How about a batting order for the Padres? Brought to you by Toyota. Denorfia leads it off. Solarte, the new Padre, at second base. Carlos Quentin in the lineup tonight. Tommy Medica hits cleanup. Jeff Francoeur gets a start in right field, just called up from El Paso. He was very popular down there. Chris Nelson at third. Rene Rivera bats seventh. Behind the plate, Alexi Amarista. The shortstop hits eighth, and Ian Kennedy ninth. On the mound, Tsuyoshi Wada, the 33-year-old for the Chicago Cubs, and his first pitch through the mid of Castillo back to the screen. Wada making his second major league start. He was a star in Japan, then had Tommy John surgery 2 years ago. Did not pitch in 2012. 2-0 to Denorfia. Starts at 2:40. And when the news hit the wires around the country that the Padres had called up Jeff Francoeur, immediate speculation that a trade had been made for this man, Chris Denorfia, and various teams are interested. So wait, what's going on here? But it wasn't that Denorfia was traded. He may be. It was because of the situation with Cameron Maybin. And on 4 pitches, Denorfia is aboard. The leadoff walk.
Well, the scouting report for Tsuyoshi Wada, the left-hander. Fastball, slider, changeup, and curveball. Talked to Theo Epstein, the president of the Chicago Cubs, before the game. He said, you know what, he's not that overpowering, but this is a guy who constantly keeps the ball low. All of his pitches, good changeup, tries to induce a lot of ground balls.
The Baltimore Orioles at age 30 took him to the United States from Japan, where he was a hero there. Been playing baseball since the first grade in his native country. Bronze medal winner with Japan in the Olympics. And there's a strike to Solarte. Welcome to San Diego, Yangervis Solarte. There's his numbers with the Yankees: 254, 6 home runs. Had a terrific April and May, but has really slumped in June and July. Hopes to get that bat back working for the Padres. And he lines that one, a slice to right field. That's going to carry all the way to the corner. And on the run to Denorfia, he's around second, and they're waving him home. And Solarte going to try for 3. Here comes the throw to third. He's in there. What a way to break in. Solarte with a ringing triple the opposite way, and the Padres have an early run.
Wow, just like that. High fives for Chris Denorfia, getting some road work in, picking him up, putting him down, as Solarte, really hard holding back the smiles. Used to wear the pinstripes. Now he's got San Diego on his chest and paying dividends starting this evening in the Windy City. Nice job going the other way off of Wada. And a nice job by the Padres putting a toothpick early on that scoreboard.
And a chance for more as Carlos Quentin steps up with a man at third and nobody out. Quentin checks in at 176 with 4 home runs. Fly ball to deep right center field. That'll be plenty deep enough. The catch made by Scherholtz. Here comes Solarte, and in just a matter of minutes, Solarte is accounted for 2 runs for the San Diego Padres. Knocking in one and scoring the second here on the sacrifice fly by Quentin.
Well, how about the Padres last night? They get shut out 6-0, and today they scored 2 runs on 7 pitches. That's right, 7 pitches. That's pitches with a P.
And you've noticed, perhaps even on television, Mark Grant, that the ball hit to center and right center is going to be carried strongly toward the right field foul line. It's going to be an adventure. High fly balls to right field. You better be ready. It might be 25, 30 feet movement. And balls in batting practice hit to right field were carrying out, but to center field and left center, they were dying. You might get a home run to left if you pull it sharply on a line down in the corner.
Boy, heavy starch on those standings out there above center field scoreboard.
Tommy Medica, the hitter, and the count goes 2-0. So that leadoff walk pays off to start the game as Denorfia comes around on the Solarte triple. Well, last night Chase Headley had the game-winning hit in 14 innings for the Yankees. Right. Turnabout is fair play, as that trade has already produced some positives for both New York and San Diego.
Well, as I mentioned, the stuff for Wada, he's not that overpowering, so the Padre hitters should have some comfortable at-bats.
Medica stands in at 226, 4 home runs. Breaking ball, or was that a changeup?
Looked like some type of, it was definitely an off-speed pitch there, Dick, and it looked like it had that dippy-do type of action that would indicate being a changeup from Wada.
Signed as a minor league free agent by the Cubs, Wada. Oh, a shattered bat. Watch out. That one sails all the way beyond the dugout of the Cubs and lands against the barrier, fortunately, and not in the crowd.
Well, you got that right, Dick. Thank goodness that bat hit the top of that concrete wall there as Wada gets inside the kitchen of Tommy Medica and snaps that shillelagh in half. There's a little fastball. It's like down by the knuckles, literally.
Glenn Hoffman at third, who was backed out of that coaching box, had to dance around to avoid that sliver. That was a spear headed his way. And give him a little more room now.
Yeah.
2-2 to right field. Again, the wind carrying that. Will it stay fair? No, it slices just foul. There's the difference. That ball normally would be 15 feet fair. Well, a look at the Cubs defense brought to you by Honda. Coughlin in left, Alcantara in center, Shearholtz the right fielder. All new faces, basically. Valbuena didn't play last night. Castro and Bonifacio up the middle. Anthony Rizzo off 2 home runs last night at first base, and Castillo behind the plate for Wada.
Boy, that definitely wasn't the scene last night, was it?
Oh, man, we were dying of heat. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. The difference between tonight and last night, 27 degrees. And time now for our Saquon Pick the Stick. You fans can decide who you're with by tweeting out hashtag I'm with and the last name of the broadcaster you think has the best pick. If you're right, you could win a free foursome of golf at the Saquon Golf Resort.
Oh, look at you, Professor, with already a 4.9.
5, thank you very much.
Oh, 5 might stand corrected. Wow, off to a great start.
Well, I wanted to welcome Solarte to the club. And Jeff Francoeur. Did you pick Francoeur? I was guessing.
I most certainly did.
I thought you did the same. I was trying. Yeah, we got to give a boost to the new faces in the lineup.
I'm a big Frenchie fan. Big fan.
That ball is drilled high. Not the wind is going to hold it up. That ball is way out in a normal condition. Last night, that would have been 25 feet over the fence. Just an out. Look at the big smile from Valentine. But the Padres get 2 early. and 100-year-old Wrigley Field. So hundreds of the number tonight as we welcome you back to the venerable old stadium on the north side of the Windy City, and windy it is today. Here's the Cubs lineup brought to you by Mattress Discounters. Cubs will bat with Bonifacio, Alcantara, Rizzo in the third slot, Starlin, Castro. That's a 1-2 punch, Rizzo and Castro. They're two all-stars. Coughlin in left field has had a terrific month of hitting. Valbueno's been cold. Scherholtz in right bats seventh. Castillo in the 8th slot, and Wada, the pitcher, bats 9th. Ian Kennedy on the hill looking for win number 8.
And the scouting report for the right-hander making his 22nd start. Same number he wears on his uniform. Work ahead so he can use all of his pitches for strikes. We know how effective he can be with the old strike number 1.
And he's got a lot of strikes, number 3 as well.
Yeah.
Number 3 in the National League behind Strasburg and Cueto in most strikeouts. Bonifacio leads it off and takes a strike. Still some splashes of daylight through the cracks in this old ballpark. And fastball inside. 1-1.
Well, any part of the day, any time of the year, this is one place to enjoy a big league ball game. Great venue.
Fouled out of play. Anything in the air, fielders have to be alert. Don't take anything for granted. The ball is not going to come down where you normally would expect it.
And that's why you got to keep those dogs moving. You got to keep those feet moving. Choppy steps in case you have to make that change of direction at the last second.
Well, here's a fly ball, Quentin, and that ball. Look at that one sail out of. That's like a duck hook. Oh my! The Padre defense brought to you by the Aramco Group. Quentin in left, Denorfia in center field with Maven out for 25 games. Francoeur joins the club in right. Nelson at third, Amarista and Solarte the double play combination. Medica at first base, Rivera the catcher, and Kennedy on the mound.
Hey, big arm for Jeff Francoeur out in right field.
Well over 100 assists in his major league career. Fly ball again. This one is being brought in, and Quentin hustles under it. He read it perfectly, one away.
And Dick, while we have a moment, Ian Kennedy now pitching. Needs 2 more outs to get out of this inning. Let's take a look at the keys of the game. Brought to you by the Honda dealers of San Diego County. Solarte, Francoeur, make a splash. And you know what? Solarte has. Jeff Francoeur crushed one, but the one held it in. Good swing from Jeff. And a road work on the Kennedy Expressway. The Kennedy here in Chicago, I-90 going out to O'Hare Field. The road numbers for Ian Kennedy much better than home numbers. 4-4, the 3.06 ERA for Ian.
Alcantara homered last night, a big one over the right field bleachers. He was the first man to hit one out over the right field stands all season long, out onto Sheffield. 1-1. This is his 10th game. Switch hitter, can play the outfield or second base. That's why they cut Darwin Barney yesterday. Smothered foul. Barney now has 10 days. The Cubs have 10 days to trade him, waive him, or release him. Rick Renteria and the Cubs looking to the future. Barney, a good player, but they want to give Alcantara a full opportunity. They have a couple of kids in the system, second basemen, that seem to have big time power.
You know, nobody likes to really predict what could happen in the future, like any ball club. But talking to some of the Cubs people, they said, you know, we're not going to throw away 2015. There's going to be some players up that aren't here right now. But, you know, 2016, almost maybe, you know, as early as 16 or 17.
Swing and a miss, and Kennedy has his first K. It's nice that his name starts with K, isn't it? Because he's going to pound a lot of them. That's 138. Time for the top tier player profile. It's brought to you by Arco. Anthony Rizzo, most home runs before August 1st by a Cubs player since 2005. 2 last night. He is on a home run tear. 25, leads the National League.
Well, this is one of those nights, Dick, where a pitcher, you might want to challenge Anthony Rizzo a little bit more.
Well, that one, hopefully the wind will carry it foul, and it does. Otherwise, that was a goner. That was wind blown.
Strike one. Missed with location. He wanted that one down and away. Rivera was set up down and away, and we saw Anthony Rizzo last night turn on an inside changeup, and you can see how the wind pushes this one just right of the foul pole down the right field line.
Skips rope, and it's 1-1. Rizzo collecting 35 home runs since last year's All-Star break. Miami's Giancarlo Stanton, the only man in the National League to have that many home runs from last July to this. Stanton with 37 homers. He has really improved himself against left-handed pitching as well, and despite the shift, he's able to drill that one into right field for the first Cubs hit.
Boy, he looks comfortable up that plate, doesn't he?
Oh, does he? What is the expression? He looks hitterish.
He does. He most certainly does. And he stays back on that breaking ball, too. He lets it travel a little bit. Watch on contact. That's just beyond the front knee there, and he pulls the ball. And as you mentioned, the shift is on. Beating the shift.
Well, he, on his swing, leverages all of his body, doesn't he?
He's a big boy. He's got a lot going.
2-0 Padres here, bottom of the first inning, and Starlin Castro steps up, hitting .275. Shoots it to third. Nelson with a fine play, and the inning comes to an end. Nelson, both nights here in Chicago, stealing base hits at third base. San Diego presents Padres Baseball, brought to you by Petco, the power of together, and by your San Diego Lexus dealer. Padres with a 2-0 lead as we welcome you back to venerable Wrigley Field.
A nice statue there of Ernie Banks, the Let's Play 2, number 14. And we also have some Padre fans here. How you doing? As the wind continues to blow in very hard.
Last night we left the ballpark. It still was in the mid-80s, humidity even higher. And then the storm came through around midnight last night. You wake up this morning and even kites were banned in Chicago. Was blowing so hard.
Yeah, you got to watch your hair hat today. You're wearing a toupee. You better be aware.
Chris Nelson leads it off and fouls it down the right field side. Not a bad play for right-handed hitters to try to go the opposite field. You saw Solarte go in that direction and came up with a triple. Trying to pull the ball to left, not so successful. Look how shallow even center fielder Alcantara is. Chopped up the middle. Castro on the run. Whoa, almost pulled Rizzo off the bag. The size of Rizzo able to do a little toe dance on the sack to complete the out. 6-3. Now what's going on here?
This guy's enjoying a drink and he's texting his friends saying, hey, I've got one of the best seats in the house. I'm out in the bleachers enjoying a big league ball game. And then he's next to a Padre fan as well. Yeah, that's what we like to see.
Hanging on to that drink as if it was made out of platinum. Rene Rivera, the base is empty, 1 out. 220 hitter on the season. So did you get any reaction from your
Oh, I did, and I want to thank everybody. It was a great experience. Thank everybody for taking the time. And
we're talking about the 7th inning. Take me out to the ball game doing his Harry Carey impersonation.
Yeah, all my friends on Twitter and Facebook and the friends who took time to text, thank you very much. It was a great honor, and it was a lot of fun. And that is a man who, Harry Carey, who I really admired as a kid and just enjoyed listening to. You know, he was your next door neighbor. You know, he was your friend. He was your grandpa. He was your dad. He was your brother.
Right field. Now the wind slicing that away, but not far enough from Scherholz for the 2nd out. Well, here's a taste of the vocalization of Mark Mudd Grant.
3 strikes, you're out at the old ball. Yeah. Hey! Hey, buddy! Buddy! Let's get some runs! Check out the guy in the sombrero! Holy cow! Wait!
Even coaching Buddy Black to get some runs in that 6-0 loss.
Well, hopefully that happens tonight. Hopefully they scored first, you know. So,
and when they score first, they're 26-12. 2 outs to Amarista, steadily moving his average up to 236. Had one of the 5 hits last night.
Boy, Dick, you know, you mentioned the wind, and we talked about it quite a bit already, but it's one of those nights especially. Hit hard liners and hard ground balls. Try to work on the top half of that baseball out of the hand of Wada. Not working underneath those pitches. Sneaky fast there on the fastball.
90 miles an hour. Threw it by the swing of Amarista. Well, the challenges continue for that man with the news about Cameron Maybin today. Yesterday, the trade of Headley, someone he respected so highly. I guess that was very emotional, their parting, telling Headley the news. On the other hand, if Headley goes to New York, a chance to be on a pennant contender and gets the winning run. Hits 14th inning and 1 for 4 last night as a Yankee.
Did you see the play he made at third base as well?
I did not see that.
Oh, a line smash over his head, leaping to take away possibly extra bases. It was a heck of a play, a great play.
Well, that's the way to endear yourself to a tough audience in New York. 2-2 to Amarista, and that's a fair ball and an easy play for Rizzo at first unassisted. 1, 2, 3 go the Padres. Chris Coghlan will lead off the 2nd for the Cubs. All right, thank you, Mike. Chris Coughlin leading it off. High pop fly back of the plate, but the wind will shoot that over the screen out of play. How about those three fans wearing the Padre uniforms down there?
Yeah.
And oh my, it's some kind of nice, and remembering Jerry Coleman with old doctor. Hey.
Hey, third row right behind home plate. Wearing the retro jerseys. Now that's some kind of nice.
Yeah, buy those fellas a libation, will you? Coughlin red hot here in July, hitting .412. Used primarily against right-handed pitching. And these guys know what they're talking about right there.
Oh, yeah. They're going over the hitters, going over the scouting reports.
That's in there. 1 and 2. Well, time now for you to tweet your photo using hashtag SDFanPhoto. A chance to have it shown on a telecast brought to you by AT&T.
5 for 5 for Ian Kennedy. First pitch strikes. It's a good sign early on.
Looped off third. The wind carrying that one away from Nelson, and he knew that barrier was coming up.
That'll come up on you quickly. Not a lot of foul territory.
So we already have our AT&T fan photo, apparently. Oh, this is the information. I guess that didn't come up earlier when we were inviting you to send your photos in. There's the note. We'll be checking on a photo later in the game. Swing and a miss, and that's strikeout number 2 for Kennedy. That fastball is much improved.
It most certainly is. We talked about it earlier in the year with the velocity up about a tick and a half for Ian Kennedy. A little change in his delivery, his kick, a little twist, creating a little bit more torque. Therefore, a little bit more on the velocity of the fastball.
Despite the fact he hasn't received a lot of hitting support, none of the pitchers have. As a Padre, Kennedy is 11 and 11 as he starts tonight. Batting average this season allowed .248. That's a strike to Valbuena. While Coughlin's been the hot hitter, Valbuena's been cold. 3 for the last 26. Boy, that gentleman looks so much like my father. It startled me when swing and a miss. Oh, 1-2. Kennedy jumping in front of Valbuena with Schierholtz on deck here in the second. Padres getting 2 for Kennedy to work with in the first inning. And a ground ball to second. First chance defensively for Solarki, and there's 2 away.
Well, we mentioned these strikeouts, and why the strikeouts? Well, he's got a lot of quality pitches above average. Well, let's focus on the fastball. You see the differences back from 2010 to now 2014. That might not seem like a big difference, 89.3 to 91.9, but that little extra tick and a half really sets the hitters back when you throw the off-speed stuff and then you throw the fastball by him for strikes. So the little torque, the little twist in the delivery. And talking to Darren Balsey, the pitching coach for the Padres, he said that, you know what, Ian Kennedy is a max effort pitcher. You saw the arsenal there used tonight on for Ian. He says he's max effort every time out. When he leaves the game, he leaves everything out there. He doesn't leave anything behind.
Well, it was just a year ago that he became a Padre. The trade with Arizona for Joe Thatcher and young right-hander Matt Stutz. Will the Wind keep that one in the ballpark? Yes, Nelson has another chance and makes the play on the warning path. A 1-2-3 frame for Kennedy. We go to the third, 2-0 Padres. Saturday, another full day of MLB action. It'll begin with the Nationals taking on the Reds on Fox Sports 1, and then our Padres against the Braves on Fox Sports San Diego. Coverage begins at 12:30 Pacific on Fox Sports 1, continues at 3:30 Pacific right here on Fox Sports San Diego. Padres, another game tomorrow here in Chicago tomorrow night, then head on early morning arrival in Atlanta to play the Braves on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Ian Kennedy will lead off the third for the Padres with Denorfia and Solarte to follow. Quite a representation, I should say,
yes,
of Padre fans here tonight.
That's good to see.
Kennedy, 4 hits, 4 RBIs this year. And Wada with a strike. He pitched once earlier this year, Major League debut on July 8th, went 5 good innings, 5 hits, no earned runs. But gives up the 2 runs in the first, a leadoff walk, and the triple Solarte, sacrifice fly Quentin for the Padre lead.
You can't beat fun at the old ballpark.
You sure can't. Price is right. Yeah, last night in leaving the ballpark on a very hot, humid night, a lot of fans stayed at the local watering holes.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun and laughter. And
Santa's here.
Cubs had won 6-0.
He's a Padre fan.
We knew that, huh? 1-2. Bounces up 2-2. And it reminded me of the old saying at Wrigley Field, there's a big party and then a baseball game happens.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
All right. That's in there, strike 3, and Wada has his second strikeout. Well, let's take a look at the history of Wrigley Field here on the north side. 100 years. First called Wiggum Park in 1916. It was the first Cubs game. 37, they planted the ivy, and that big scoreboard was installed in center field. First lights, the last lights of any major league club in '88, and that first game was rained out, as we told you last night. 3 All-Star games, second oldest ballpark, second to Fenway. They started there in 1912. It's an old park, but there's a new spirit every game here.
It's like going back in time after you see the old photos and you come and everything is exactly the same as far as the dimensions.
Denorfia fouls that down the right field side, and he falls behind 2 strikes.
And of course they've made upgrades, but you look at that shot there and you know exactly where you're at.
I first came here at age 21. I was in the Naval Reserve, and we were at Great Lakes Training Center, and they gave us an afternoon off, and I got a seat out there in right field.
Do you remember how much the ticket was?
Oh, I think it was like 50 cents. I was in uniform now.
You probably got in free. You should have got in free.
And it was in September, and Tim McGarver had just been called up by the Cardinals. The Cardinals were playing the Cubs, so whenever he came up, that was the year.
That's great.
It was 58, 59 maybe. Thrilled to be in this ball yard, as it was the old Yankee Stadium and Fenway Park, to have a chance to sit in those seats. And most of all in Briggs Stadium, Tigers Stadium, which was...
I love that yard. I really like that ballpark.
Double deck all the way around. That was a major league ballpark. 2-2 to Denorfia, walked first time, and it's 3-2. I've told the story before. Rocky Bridges, an old-time coach with the Angels when I was doing their games, he was sitting in that dugout, and he said every kid that comes to the major leagues for the first time ought to come through Detroit, because you walk down that narrow passageway to the dugout. And another walk for Denorfia, and then you don't see the total ballpark till you get up on the steps, and then you look out and whoa, double deck all the way around. Solarte, first time up as a Padre with Denorfia at first base. And he announces his presence as a San Diego Padre slicing that drive into the right field corner, knocking home Denorfia on a triple. Not a bad debut for Solarte.
Yeah, that's a nice job of him going the other way and scoring early and paying dividends early for this ball club.
Yeah, we just received a note. McCarver's second, third, and fourth games were here at Wrigley, September 1959.
And you were there.
I was right out there in those bleachers. Hubba, hubba.
You know what? I wanted to ask Chase Headley after he got traded. He's wearing number 12 for the pinstripe. I was going to ask him, hey, Chase, how come you didn't ask for number 7?
Or 3.
Hey, pretty soon Jeter's number is going to be retired. And that's number 2, so.
That'll be all the single digits.
Yeah.
Number 12. I think Gil McDougall wore number 12. Trying to think back. Here's Solarte's profile. Same hometown in Venezuela as Alex Torres, the left-handed bullpenner for the Padres. Loop to right center field. It's hanging up there, and the wind will drop it for another hit. Yep, he's hitting into the conditions, Solarte. That would have been a normal routine fly ball to the center fielder, Alcantara, but he'll take that one as Denorfia plays it just right, moves to second.
Yeah, who says you have to hit it on the screws? Well, Solarte just hits this one perfectly, and as you mentioned, Dick, that's like hitting a big, like an 8-iron up into the wind and it knocking down for a nice little spot on the green there. He's putting for birdie.
Well, the Padres a chance to add to their 2-0 lead. Solarte has the only 2 hits so far. And here's Carlos Quentin, drove in a run with a sacrifice fly to deep center. Shift on. We talked about, now this is one of the first times we've seen a shift for a right-handed batter. Only Rizzo on the right side.
Yep. And Anthony has to stay a little bit closer to first base, because if he's way over here, let's say, it's going to take a long time to get over there if there's a ground ball hit on this side of the infield.
That gives Solarte a chance to take a man-sized lead. Ground ball hangs foul, and Quentin will come back to home plate.
Hey, did you see what those base runners were doing right there? Denorfia, Solarte. That ball's hit on the ground, right? Down the third base line. You've got to go. It's a force play. Force at any base. You have no control whether that ball's going to, carry them back fair territory. On the ground, third base. Okay, now from their vantage point, they're thinking, we don't know if it's fair or foul. Got to go. And it is foul, but still, that's heads-up base running. Ball on the ground that close, you have to go.
2 strikes now on Quentin. Goes upstairs, does Wada. Not very big. The left-hander from Fukuoka, Japan. He's 5'11" and 180 pounds. Here's Quentin's numbers. It was the double play that was part of the story last night. The Padres hit into 4. That was the high for the year for the Cubs infield. And a 6-0 Chicago win as the Padres went 0 for 11 with runners on base. Tonight they're 2 for 2. Two balls and 2 strikes. Carlos Quentin, who had his best baseball seasons on the south side of this city with the White Sox. Two on, 1 away, and the Padres with a 2-0 lead here in the third. Swing and a miss. And down goes Quentin. That's the third strikeout for Wada.
Well, that swing was all upper body. And I'm guessing that Carlos Quentin was thinking something off speed, because as this pitch comes in, watch how it's just all upper body. It's almost like he was fooled because when the bat came through the hitting zone, the ball was well past the head of the bat. And you know, at times hitters are going to be fooled, and they're going to be guessing certain pitches. And Wada wins that battle right there.
Medica struck out his first at bat. It's almost, if you're thinking home run, you better go back, step out of the batter's box and say, no, 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 not tonight. I'm just going to make solid contact. Try to hit it up the middle. Strike one. The wind, as we come to the last hour or so of daylight, expect it to die down as night falls. But it's still going to impact the game at this point. Good thing it wasn't an afternoon game. It was really devilish. And a swing and a miss.
I almost lost my toupee when I was walking down Michigan Avenue. Oh, it's unbelievable.
I saw you walking out of the hotel.
Did you see me? My hand was on top of my head the whole time. I had to hang on to my hair hat.
Yeah, that 3 follicles left. Yeah. Wada with a couple of strikeouts in the inning. Kennedy and Quentin now ahead of Medica, 0-2. That could be troublesome. Swinging bunt. Play by the third baseman, Valbuena. Nicely done. Padres lead 2. We're in the middle of the third in Chicago, 2-0. San Diego.
When, I had played 8.5 years and never thought about going back to the minor leagues, and when, you do for 3.5 months, it definitely makes you realize how lucky and fortunate you are. So, it's definitely a lot more special this time.
Jeff Francoeur, your Geico quote of the game. I got a chance to talk to him. I said, what's the one thing you're looking forward to today? He said, just being back out there and listening to the national anthem. And you should have seen his face light up. He's really a gem of a guy, loved by all of his teammates, even his time down in AAA. The guys loved him there, played some pranks on him. He just loved in the clubhouse.
Yeah, he's been a popular guy in his 9 years in the big leagues, Chris, that's for certain. And as we heard from Tim Haggerty, the play-by-play announcer of the Chihuahuas in El Paso, he loved El Paso. They loved him. They named the right field corner Frenchie's Corner there at El Paso.
Yeah, he's a very likable kid. When he was a local kid out of Atlanta, drafted by the Braves first round, had a good run there, went on to the Mets, played a little bit in Kansas City, but he's a kid you root for. And the thing, and thanks, Chris, for that nice report. The thing that Jeff said to me before the game, like he said in that little soundbite, was that getting called up this time, was much more special than the first time. Being in the early 20s, it just makes you appreciate it much more. So good for him.
Castillo is grounded to short, one away. Wada falls behind 0-2. Kennedy seeking his third strikeout. Sends a breaking ball inside. Well, he had a couple of huge years with Atlanta, 2 100-plus RBI seasons. Won the Gold Glove in right field. Called him the natural.
Yeah. Likes to swing the bat, too. Remember back in the day? I mean, he would be swinging early. Very aggressive.
121 outfield assists. Over the mound, Solarte. Oh, a nice little sidewind throw there to flip it with some authority over to first to retire Wada. And he's been tested already with the bat and the glove.
Hey, nice on the transfer, very smooth, and it got a little fuzz on that over to Medica at first base. Accurate throw. Nicely done.
He can play second and third, with Chris Nelson doing a good job at third since Padres brought him up. Slotted at second tonight. When you look at that infield compared to the infield that came out of spring training this year, it was Alonso, Jerko, Cabrera, and Headley at third. None of them is here tonight, but 3 of them are in El Paso and about ready to come back, rehabbing. Leadoff man Bonifacio.
That was a nice little cut fastball there, a real tight slider out of the hand of Ian Kennedy, getting inside to Bonifacio.
In fact, last night Mark Cabrera went 0 for 3, Jerko 2 for 6, Alonso 1 for 6. That was a 13-inning game. So they're getting their cuts, getting their game back in shape.
I'd like to find out that 0 for 3 for Cabrera. Were they 3-line shots? Were they, routine grounders?
Yeah, that's what you don't know.
Yeah. Hey, Ian Kennedy, Dick, 10 for 10, first pitch strikes. How do you like them apples?
That comes out. Is it 100% or 1,000%?
That's 100%.
Okay.
Thank you. Keeping me on my toes.
But it's 1,000% too.
No, 100%. You can't give more than 100%.
Okay.
I know. That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
1-2 to Bonifacio. Fly to left his first time. Slaps that one foul.
Yeah, I guess you can go, when you talk like ticket sales and stuff like that, you can go 1,000%, right?
I remember John Wooden always was amused by coaches that wanted 110%.
Right, I remember.
All you can ask is the optimum, which is 100%.
Right.
If you're not happy with that, why ask for 110?
That's right. That's a good point.
Pretty good. Teased him with that fastball outside, or was that a change? Couple of ground ball outs. No one aboard here in the third for the Cubs. Peppering that strike zone on the edge. Swing and a miss. He gets him. That's number 3 for Kennedy. Continues that strikeout per inning average on the season. We're going to see Francoeur in the top of the 4th. Fox Sports San Diego presents Padres Baseball. Brought to you by Sequan Casino. Real friendly and real close. By Jack in the Box. Head in for the new jalapeno, ranch, or barbecue ultimate cheeseburgers. And by the Aramco Group. Purchase, refinance, reverse. Visit us at aramco.biz.
Hey.
Little biz going on there.
Hey,
huh?
get a room. Come on.
Why?
That guy's going incognito right there. Got the shades out.
That's how they do it over in Paris, and we got a Frenchman about to take the batter's box here. Frenchie fly deep to center. That would have been out of any ballpark under normal conditions. Certainly Petco. That had 420 feet written on it, but it died out short of the warning path into this wind tonight. And he takes a strike. First round pick overall back in 2002 by the Braves. Played with the Braves, Mets, Rangers, Royals, Giants, and now the Padres. 140 career home runs.
Oh, he likes to swing too. I mentioned the last half inning when Jeff was out there in right field. If it's around home plate, he is going to be hacking. And you see that little graphic there, Atlanta, Georgia. Well, where did the Padres go next, Mr. Enberg? Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah, he'll enjoy that, won't he? They'll be waiting for him. The press that, it's a 30-year-old man who wouldn't give up the dream, went to the minor leagues for the first time since coming up to the bigs 9 years ago. It's a great way to make a living, playing a kid's game.
Yep. And you know what? When Jeff Francoeur was first drafted and made to the big leagues with the Braves, he always had this aura about him to where he was always seemed to be happy. He just loves playing the game.
Looper over first. That's going to fall for a base hit. So both Solarte and Francoeur deliver in their first appearance in a Padre uniform. They have all three of the San Diego hits. Well, now and then my memory does serve me well. McDougal did wear number 12, a third baseman for the Yankees.
Look at you working, Professor. I like it.
So Chase Headley carries a third baseman's number.
Very nice. And Jeff Francoeur, look at
that smile, huh?
Hard holding back the smiles there. Just don't use the coach's bathroom in El Paso. You get locked in for about an hour and a half. Did you see that, Dick?
I didn't see that.
Cody Decker made a little film about it. Well, Jeff Francoeur went in to use the coach's restroom in the clubhouse in El Paso, and they locked him in. You don't use the coach's bathroom.
Even if you do have major league experience, huh? Chris Nelson grounded to short his first time.
Well, he was locked in the bathroom in the coach's office. And how does he get out? Mission Impossible like. Through the roof of the bathroom, up on top, down into the clubhouse to escape.
He's a talker, too, isn't he? Burning the years of RIZZO over first base. 1-2 to Nelson. 0 for 4 last night and wrapped into a couple of double plays his last 2 times up. Padres leading it 2-0 here in the top of the 4th. Francoeur with a single to right to lead off this 4th inning. And that ball hit into right center field, and the wind carrying that one up into the alley to the ivy. Francoeur read it well. He's going to try to score, and here comes the throw to the plate, not in time. And the Padres lead 3-0 as Nelson with a double to right center. Is there a message so far? Where do you want to hit the ball? Right center or right field? Nelson with his second RBI as a Padre.
Out of the hand from Wada, it's something off speed and out and away and elevated, and a nice looking swing. Lock, loaded, throw the head, wearing out right center field. And once again, a hard line drive, right? If that ball's up in the air, there's a chance the wind knocks it down. And Jeff Francoeur, he got the go sign from Glenn Hoffman. Wave him around.
Awkward slide there, but he gets the hero's treatment coming to the dugout. Francoeur in his Padre debut with a hit and a run scored. Here's Rene Rivera, line to left field his first time. That smile lighting up the north side.
That's great.
He's got a lot of hits and a lot of big ones, and coming back to the big leagues. Just the joy of a grown man able to play it big time, Major League Baseball. 3-0 San Diego. No one out. Nelson now at second.
Yeah, the Padre hitters this inning, talking about Frank Court and Nelson, when their back is up against the wall. Both of those hitters with 2 strikes. Both of those hitters getting credit with base hits. So a good job protecting with 2 strikes.
And all 4 hits for the Padres to the right side of the outfield. And all by right-handed hitters. That's popped up on the infield. Here comes the wind, and here comes the catcher Castillo. Oh, that's what we're talking about. Top flies will be an adventure, but Castillo prevails.
You know, that's got to be a difficult play, and by judging the way Castillo went after that foul ball is proof, because he gives the flash look. Now, generally speaking, the ball's going to start to come back towards the infield, right, because of that spin. But now you've got the counter wind coming in from the center field area, right? So now, you know, what you got that crosswind, right? You got that rotation, and then you got the wind coming in, and Castillo squeezes it for the out. It's not an easy play.
Brings up Amarista with 1 out. Last 5 games, 6 for 19 for Alexi. Lines that one foul into the crowd. Well, final game of the 3-game series tomorrow night, not a day game, tomorrow night. So we invite you to join us at 5 o'clock here on Fox Sports San Diego. Tyson Ross on the mound with that sparkling 2.70 ERA. He'll go for win number 9 against veteran Edwin Jackson for the Cubs. Then on to Atlanta for 4. That went into the first row behind the Cubs dugout.
Oh, that's a good sign. Smile, baseball in hand. You betcha.
That young fan glad it wound up in her hands. She ducked out. She was ducking down low. And another foul. That's 3 that have been sprayed off to the left off the bat of Amarista. Well, that 4th run is out at second base, and we all know what happens when the Padres score 4. 35 times, and they've lost only 5 of those 35. Ground ball left side. Uh-oh, he's running into an out at third, or is it? He's safe. And he got away with one there, Nelson. That's a play with a ball hit in front of you. That's a tough gamble. And Rick Renteria is not sure at all that that was right in front of the Cubs dugout. So he's coming out to talk with third base umpire Pat Holberg.
And you know, Nelson does a nice job of sliding towards the inside part of the bag, right?
Yeah, this will give us a good look. He is in there unless his hand comes off the bag. It does not.
Yeah.
Bad throw by Castro. That was just a 40-foot throw, and he threw it up the outfield side, allowing Nelson to sneak in there. And Renteria convinced. And the Padres, on the fielder's choice, have runners at the corners with Kennedy the batter.
So bench coach for the Cubs, Brandon Hyde, on the horn back to the Cubs clubhouse, and they probably got word, hey, you know what, no need to challenge, come on back in the dugout, try to get Ian Kennedy here.
A risky play by Nelson, but he makes up for it with a heads-up slide. 1st and 3rd with 1 out for Kennedy. And there's the safety squeeze, play at the plate, and he's out of there. Wada making a glove scoop and toss to catcher Castillo. Kennedy did not quite get the ball far enough away toward the foul line to get his runner in.
On contact, Nelson's off and running. And it looks like Castillo did, in fact, create a lane, allowing a lane for Nelson with his left foot. It's in fair territory out in front of home plate. Nelson grabs the backside of that point of home plate, but before he does that, Castillo applies the tag there. Home plate umpire Todd Tishner is all over it with the call. There's the tag before he touches the plate.
So Kennedy safe on the fielder's choice with Amarista at second. Top of the order. Denorfia up twice, walked twice, and takes strike one. Scored in the first inning after leading off the game with a walk on Solarte's triple into the right field corner. Three-0 Padres. A chance for more. 2 on, 2 out here in the top of the fourth. Solarte on deck. He inside, 1-1. Wada, part of the Japanese team that won the bronze medal in the 2004 Olympics. They finished 4th in 2008. It was 107 and 61 in the Japanese league. Two and one. Trying to keep that ball low and inside to Denorfia.
Yeah, that's his MO with all of his pitches. The changeup, the breaking ball, the fastball, keep it down in the zone. He will elevate at times when the count is in his favor.
That levels the count at 2-2. Anxious times for Chris Denorfia. So look at Solarte, 2 for 2 in his debut as a Padre. He reads the papers, he listens to television and radio, and knows that he's the topic of a possible trade before this next week is over, end of July. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Padres add a run. Jeff Francoeur's first base hit as a Padre to right field. And that set the table for Chris Nelson, who comes up and drives it up the alley in right center to give the Padres a 3-0 lead.
Of the trade brought to you by Ram Trucks. We'll go back to last night. Anthony Rizzo hitting home runs number 24 and 25. On the left, home run number 1. It was a high changeup, middle in, and he turns on it, keeps it fair. But on home run number 2, this is how Anthony Rizzo has really developed into a good major league hitter, power hitter, going to right field and going to left field. And there you see the distances. 382 and a hay to right and over 400 to left. And that's why Anthony Rizzo is leading the National League in home runs. And he's got a bright future in that Cub uniform, playing first base here on the north side of Dant.
And he'll be up second in this bottom of the 4th inning with the Padres leading now 3-0. He just missed a home run his first time up. Wind blew it just foul. Alcantara struck out swinging the first time. Ooh, a good looking breaking ball. Strike 1.
Yeah, good hammer from Kennedy.
Doesn't look as if this man's built for power, but he can jolt. He's got 2 home runs his first 9 games with the Cubs. Back toward the mound, and Kennedy takes care of business. Ooh, a little tall on the throw. 1 away. Brings up Rizzo. All-Star this year. The youngest ever Cubs first baseman to make the All-Star team. You got to go back to Phil Cavarretta, famous name, back in 1944. He was 27 when he was named an All-Star. July, an 8 home run month for Rizzo, a couple of them last night.
And he's so big and strong. We just documented his home run power to the opposite field. That's why he's going to be so good, especially here in this ballpark. Well, really any ballpark. He's that big, he's that strong.
And Kennedy's trying to keep the ball in tight on him so he can't get those arms fully extended. Castro on deck. San Diego 3, Cubbies nothing. 2-0.
Well, that looked like a pretty good pitch.
It could have been called a strike on the paint.
Yeah, our friends at Southland Technology say, "Hee-haw!" That means strike.
Okay, gotcha. That would be your strike call?
I don't know what it would be.
Yeah.
Think of something.
Yeah, when I was a little league umpire, Steve.
There you go. I like it. Did you wear the big pillow, the big balloon?
No.
You didn't?
No. And a strike on the inside corner. Just a little like a catcher's chest protector.
Oh, okay.
Hey, they grow them tough, you know, in Michigan. 3 balls and a strike to Rizzo. And he walked him.
Hey, get ready for baseball night in San Diego when your Padres take on the Atlanta Braves Saturday, August 2nd at 5:40. Every fan, that's every fan in attendance, will take home a Padres floppy hat, one of my favorites. And it's presented by Fanatic and supported by Star 94.1. Don't miss this one. Get your tickets today at Padres.com.
That's coming up a week from Saturday as we go into August. They ought to have a picture of you with one of those floppy hats. I mean, I love perfect candidate model for that.
I love the Trilbies. I love the Blackhawks. And I love the floppy hats.
Yeah, you know, that would be a great addition to the game of basketball. You know, the defender that doesn't want to defend just flops. You got to come out and put a hat on him. That's one.
He's going to wear it for the rest of the game.
The rest of the game. Castro. Good play by Nelson. Denied him a base hit. Tried to drive one through that left side the first time up. Big swing and a miss.
Hey, we got the Bay of Pigs matchup right here. Kennedy and Castro.
Oh,
we're going way back.
Sitting on that one, have you?
Missile crisis.
Boy, it's scary. I heard a lecture during the All-Star break on just that very topic.
How close it was?
How close it was.
Yeah, I
2-1. The boat, the submarine, lost contact. The Russian submarine with the missile, and they had to vote three votes, and it voted 2-1 not to fire.
Wow. Wow.
Could have started a whole nuclear war. Kennedy and Castro. 2-2 the count.
That was the slider. Probably Ian Kennedy's. I mean, he's got a good slider. Probably, though, if you were to rank them, probably his 4th best pitch, being the fastball, the curveball, and the changeup. Although the curveball and changeup can be neck and neck, photo finish, depending on how the feel is that day or evening.
What's he going to come with here?
Well, you know what? It's 2-2. I'm thinking something maybe located down and away, like a fastball.
He reaches out, a fly ball. Watch the wind here. Solarde plays it well. And there's 2 away. Rizzo is still at first for Chris Coughlin.
Well, 49 pitches looks like for Ian Kennedy, and when you look at the arsenal, the distribution of those pitches looks something like this. The fastball, 60%, and when you have a 4-pitch pitcher, it's usually fastball heavy like that. The breaky ball being the curveball and slider at 32, and the changeup coming in place. I'm sorry, show. The changeup comes in at show, right?
Yeah, that's
at 8%.
right. Yeah. Get in that Del Mar spirit.
Yeah.
Come on. When you see that close-up of Kennedy, you understand why he earned a nickname along the way of Ginger. He's got that wonderfully colored beard. Don't see a lot of red hair like that anymore. Off speed, drops in there for a strike. Did he go? No, 1-1. Well, here's a battle of Irishmen. Kennedy against Coughlin. First walk of the night from Kennedy is pitching around Rizzo. 3 strikeouts so far. And 2-1 now to Coughlin. Hitting .412 in July. Kennedy actually on the season has had better luck against left-handed hitters than righties.
I think that's why that changeup comes into play. Righty pitcher, lefty hitter.
That one gets away, and that'll advance Rizzo, and he might go all the way to third. He will. Rivera couldn't find the ball. Well, he's going to turn and go back to second. He was halfway to third, and there, why risk it? As third base coach Gary Jones threw up the stop sign.
Well, look at Renee. He doesn't know where it is, and it looks like that Todd Tishner is kind of in his line of sight of where the ball is. It was catcher, umpire, baseball. And then finally Rizzo, as you mentioned, Dick, pulls on the brakes there.
With 1 out, I think he would have gone and get to third with 1 out, but with 2 outs, risk reward. Why take the chance?
First Cub tonight to reach second base on that wild pitch.
See where the ball caroms off the shin guard of the umpire, so it angles away. Rivera's thinking it's going to be to his left instead of back to his right. And he walks Coughlin, so a couple of walks here in the 4th inning to bring up Luis Valbuena, who represents the tying run on this windy night in Chicago. The old windy city, but it's not because of the winds that you'll experience here. Well, the politicians, right?
Yeah. Blowing a lot of hot air, I guess, huh? Making it really windy.
It was last night.
Did you see the rain last night? By about 11:30?
I heard it. Yeah.
Oh.
And we certainly welcomed it. You knew it was coming with a kind of humidity. Here's Valbuena, a dangerous long ball hitter. Has only 5 this year. Rounded to second his first time. First rough spot for Kennedy. A couple of walks 2 out here in the 4th. Hit well to right field. Wind's not going to knock that one down. And Valbuena has tied it at 3. Couple of walks, and Valbuena ties into one. A 3-run swing, and the Padres' lead has evaporated.
It looks like an 0-1 curveball. Tried to backdoor it. It's elevated. Valbuena thinks that pitch is bueno. And this one cuts right through the teeth of the wind in the second row of the bleachers. And just like that, the Cubs tie it up.
Only their 2nd hit of the night. Valbuena's 6th home run of the season. And if you hit it to straightaway right or in the corner and right, the wind won't have much impact. Nate Shearholtz fouled out the first time.
He wanted to bury that curveball. Want that curveball down in the zone. It was outer third and elevated. He got extended. Put a good swing on it.
3 home runs for the Cubs last night. That's the first tonight. And Kennedy has to be upset with himself. A couple of walks, sets the table.
You know, before that pitch, Dick, the first 3 innings, Ian threw 8 balls. 8. This inning, prior to that home run, he's thrown 10 balls.
Ahead of Shearholtz, and he drills it, but that'll be foul. Got out there in a hurry. One and 2. So the inning here, the 4th, began innocently enough. A tap out by Alcantara. But Rizzo on a 3-1 pitch walked, and after Castro popped up, Coughlin worked Kennedy for a 2nd walk. And Valbuena does the damage with a home run. Check swing. Does he go? Yes, he does. And the putout will be at first base. But thanks to Luis Valbuena's power and a couple of walks, the Cubs are back even at 3.
Oh, that's great, you guys.
Yeah, they're paid to do that. They say that. Well, it's the night for the 3-run homer, apparently.
Yeah.
3-run shot for Miggy Cabrera. And Tigers beat Arizona and Valbuena with a 3-run home run here tonight to tie it up. 3-3, top of the 5th. Solarte.
Oh.
A triple into the right field corner in his first at bat as a Padre. Drove in a run, later scored himself in the first inning. Dumped a single into right center his last time. 2 for 2. And ball 3-0. Solarte, Quentin, and Medica for the Padres here in the top of the 5th inning.
You know, there's so much to be said when a hitter gets in the batter's box and his presence. I like the way Solarte looks. It looks like he's going to be aggressive. He looks like he's ready.
And a 4-pitch walk to start the 5th inning. Solarte. Let's go down to Chris Budden.
Nice singing. Well, Mark Grant called it in his keys to the game. Solarte needing to make a splash, and he has. And the last 24 hours have been crazy, meeting all of his teammates in the 6th inning, and said he was surprised that he was even in the lineup today, let alone batting second. Said he's enjoyed this group of guys, knows a few of them, knew Rene Rivera, also grew up playing ball with Alex Torres, which makes the whole transition a lot more comfortable for him.
That is so key, isn't it, Chris? Thank you. Well, here's Quentin. Sacrifice fly, and he struck out the last time. Padres would like to answer immediately after losing the 3-0 lead in the last of the 4th.
How about you going a little Dean Martin on me with little Volare with Solarte? Very good. I like your thinking.
Yeah, well, maybe we play when we have the organ there at Petco Park. Maybe
that could be his walk-up music.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, in my next life, I'm going to be a singer.
That'd be fun.
Up high, and that'll bring Castillo out to the mound as Wada, 6 straight balls thrown when he finally got back even.
And how quickly the momentum can change here. You know, the 3-run shot by Valbuena back in the 4th inning. Now the Padres, a base runner and a hitter's count for Carlos Quentin.
You could see by that exchange the slight frame of Wada, 5'11" and 180. And the bullpen active for the Cubs now as the right-hander Schlitter starts to get loose. Wada, in his only other major league start a couple of weeks ago, did go 5 innings. Quentin sitting on a 2-0 pitch. Way outside. He's 33. The shift is on for Quentin. Strike 1. Look at the room with Rizzo holding on the runner. Yep. All of the right side of the infield, daring him to hit that way. You could bunt the single to right field. Hard bunt. Medica on deck. And ball 4. 9 pitches to start the 5th inning, and only one of them a strike. And time now for our fan Diego, fan of the game. There they are, the oh my, some kind of nice, and oh doctor.
They are just right in back of home plate, 3 rows. I mean, that is a big league seat right there.
For them to go to that trouble.
Yeah.
Of course, they maybe we're hoping they might be seen on TV. And that's the bad side. Actually, the other side is their better side.
Oh, their phones are going to be blowing up pretty soon because we talked about them earlier, and they were looking at their phones, and in between innings, they gave a look up here.
See, I like the Jerry Coleman O Doctor because he's totally coordinated, you know, in the colors. Now, oh my, over there on the left, he doesn't know, you know, what am I going to, you know, what goes with brown and orange and yellow. And how about your guy? I mean, that looks like he's going to go out and hunt quail right after the game.
They're fans, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
He's hoping a little luck goes the Padres' way, wearing those shamrocks on that hat right there.
Yeah.
You guys down there, hey, your phones are going to be ringing. You're getting some serious airtime here in Chicago.
Chicago.
2
on with walks. The Padres with a chance to reclaim the lead. Medica struck out and grounded to third.
Got to do some damage here.
That's 9 out of 10 pitches in the inning out of the strike zone.
Got to be patient, Tommy Medica. Look for that one pitch. You can go to hacking at. Don't swing at one of Wada's pitches out of the zone.
Don't be afraid to go to right field with your swing.
Yeah, but if it's something soft, middle in, spin on it and send it out on a Waveland Avenue. Like that.
And too far out in front. If we have a ball that's going to fly over the left field bleachers tonight, that'll be the longest home run of the season that we've seen.
Yeah, it's going to have to be a line drive with some backspin to it, cut through that wind. And
not as bad as at the start of the game, but still enough to make it difficult if you're pulling to left. 2 on walks, no one out here in the 5th. 3-1, 2-1 rather.
Good eye.
Yeah, that ball was close.
Yep.
Leadoff walk to Solarte, and Quentin follows with a walk.
And base runners, be aware of the line drive. Freeze on the line drive. You don't want to get doubled up. Let that line drive go through. You will advance.
Infield lined up for a possible double play chance. Oh boy, that's ball 3.
Looked like a changeup.
2-2 now instead of 3-1.
Let's check it out of the hand of Wada. Looked like a changeup. Bounced right on home plate. And Castillo does a nice job of smothering it. Tommy Medica a little bit too froggy right there on that pitch.
Too jumpy, huh?
Yeah. Now, if I'm Wada, I'm coming right back with an off-speed pitch. Yep. You can see the off-speed pitch. Medica out front, that barrel of the bat kind of getting on top of that baseball and rolling over, right? Trying to induce a grounder or a swing and a miss.
Struggling with his control in this inning. Tsuyoshi Wada. 2 walks, no one out, and 2-2 to Medica. Ian Kennedy, that home run, I'm sure he's still trying to digest one pitch that cost him 3 runs. To left field, it's hit well. Is the wind going to hold it up? It is in the ivy. Not caught in the ivy. That'll score 1 run. It'll be a ground rule double as Solarte comes in to score to break the tie. It's 4-3. And where's the ball? Normally the ivy is so entwined and thick that the ball is rejected. That's the first time, even in batting practice, you don't see it get lost in the ivy. And Medica will take the RBI double. That would have been a home run.
Yeah, high pitch. He tried to hit it on the line. Boy, if that ball is hit on the line a little bit more, it's a home run. Listen to this. Oh, he hit it well. But that wind into the teeth of the wind, knocking it down. Where'd it go? Just disappeared. Hey, somewhere in that ivy, Andre Dawson is, stuck in there somewhere.
And that drive and his lack of control here in the 5th inning brings Rick Renteria to the mound at a pitching change as Medica has given the Padres the lead once again. It's 4-3 here in the 5th. The pitching change in Chicago. from the north and from the east, as the Padres, well, they take advantage of the wildness, just as Kennedy's 2 walks led to runs. Here comes Brian Schlitter.
Yeah, and the pitching change is brought to you by Drew Ford. You see the numbers for Brian Schlitter. That's Schlitter with an L. He throws a fastball and a slider. 90 to 95 on that fastball. Opponent's hitting 221. He's got a little mess right here. Padres second and third. Tommy Medica, he put a charge into one.
No one out. Infield comes in. Padres lead 4-3, and first pitch to Jeff Francoeur inside. He drilled one deep to center field. As you see, Iwata gets 4 innings plus, leaves with 4 runs and 5 hits. He walked 4. 2 of them have scored. And Quentin at third put on a free ticket. 2-0 to Francoeur. So the new Padres, Solarde with a triple and a single, has scored 2 runs. Francoeur with a single and scored a run. Oh, that bounces in. Castillo, good play made, and it's 3-0 with first base open. Chris Nelson on deck. You can't defend the base on balls. It's just hurt the Cubs.
Yep.
Iwata, and it punished Kennedy in the last inning. Now that was a pitcher run.
Sure was.
So 3 walks in the inning. Load the bases with no one out and bring up Chris Nelson. He doubled to right center field his last time to drive in his second Padre run. Would you say that double by Medica in that it hurt the Cubs would be poison ivy?
I like it. Yeah,
maybe.
That's absolutely. Yeah.
Hey, we're cooking tonight.
Hopefully, yeah. I like the way you're thinking.
Hey, after last night, we had to maintain the high level of entertainment.
Well, it was a bad game last night. I mean, let's face it,
No, but I'm talking about your performance in the 7th inning.
Well, that too.
So Nelson takes a strike from Schlitter. 1 for 2 tonight. Chance for the Padres to break this one open. Foul back. That might have clipped the mask of Castillo. Rene Rivera on deck. Padre over every pillow. A run already home to make it 4-3 San Diego. Quentin at third, Medica at second, and Francoeur at first. Over but low. 95 on the fastball.
Yeah, he can get up about 97. 2-pitch pitcher.
Time called. Castillo going out to talk to Schlitter, who is 28 years of age. He's a Philadelphia lad. No, I'll take that back. He was acquired from Philadelphia for pitcher Scott Iyer. That was 6 years ago. He actually is a local product from Maine High School in Park Ridge. Came up briefly with the Cubs in 2010. That's it. And the count remains 1-2.
Hey, good 2-seam action on that 95-mile-an-hour fastball on the inside part of the plate to Nelson. And that's what the Padres are working with. Quentin Medica, Francoeur, and Chris Nelson. You talk about an RBI opportunity.
Nelson drove in one with a double to right center. That one chopped toward third. That's a tough play. The throw to the plate to get the force on Quentin. Of course, the Padres have their slowest runner coming home, and a nice play made by Schlitter to get the out at home. Bases remain loaded. Nelson safe on the fielder's choice.
Yeah, the Cubs have the luxury of this being a forced play. So Schlitter bare hands it, fires a strike. Castillo, foot on the plate. 1-2.
Medica moves to third. Francoeur to second, and Nelson joins them. Still just one out, 1 run in. Well done by Schlitter. Rivera lined to left and fouled to the catcher. .333 average with the bases full. Ball 1. Schlitter with a chance to get out of the inning with a double play ball here and deny the Padres what could be a big inning. On the other hand, Rivera thinking drive that ball into a gap somewhere and maybe unload these 3 runners. That's in there, 1-1.
Boy, he likes to pound the inside part of the plate with that 2-seamer. Trying to get that ground ball on the left side for Valbuena or Castro. And you can see by our Fox tracks, hey, our friends at Southland Technology saying, hey, Schlitter's going down and in to the right-handed hitting Rivera.
Another worm killer there at home plate. 1-2 to Rivera. Inning started with walks to Solarte and Quentin and an Ivy double off the bat of Medica as the ball disappeared in the ivy to make it a 4-3 game Padres. And then the walk to Francoeur. Nelson on the fielder's choice, so bases loaded, 1 out. And the 1-2 delivery. 2-2.
Boy, combined this inning, Wada, who started the inning, then relieved by Schlitter, combined 28 pitches. So the Padre hitters making the Cubs staff work.
That's quite a partnership. Wada Schlitter, huh?
Yeah.
That's the 2 pitchers. Yeah. Two balls, 2 strikes to Rivera. Padre over every pillow. And another smothered foul ball.
And another pitch inside, trying to tie him up. With that wind blowing in, looks like with that salad that Schlitter is sporting right there, it's like a horsetail coming up, hitting you in the face. Whipping around in that wind.
Inside. It's a good at bat by Rene Rivera. Good patience, fouled off several good throws from Schlitter. And now full count. You have to figure Rivera's in the driver's seat here. With the bases loaded, Schlitter got to get that ball in the strike zone or throw the Padres a 5th run.
See if he tries to go down and away right here.
Ball 4, a bases loaded gift, and the Padres add another. Medica scores. It's 5-3, and give Rivera his 23rd RBI of the season.
I know every umpire has his own strike zone, but according to tracks, it seemed like that ball caught the upper half of the strike zone, and the Padres get the call. It's a hang with them.
Alexi Amarista now.
There's that last pitch, Dick, number 7.
Yeah, that's the one pitch, that high corner pitch. Pitchers don't usually get it.
Yep.
Whether it's high inside or high outside, for whatever reason. Umpires will give you the low inside, low outside. And Rick Renteria now, the last thing a manager wants to see is that bases loaded walk. Amarista takes a strike, and it's 0-2. Alexi has grounded out twice. 4 walks in the inning from Cubs pitching. The only hit, Medica's double. And if you're just joining us, in the last of the 4th, with the Padres leading 3-0, the Cubs got only 1 hit after Kennedy had walked 2 men, but it was a big one. Valbuena's 3-run homer. They'll turn about his fair play here, as walks have contributed to both clubs. And the Padres back with a 2-run lead. Ground ball could be 2. Castro to second, back to first, and in time for the double play. That's what was the Achilles for the Padres last night, but Medica drives one, and they'll look for that one tomorrow. It's somewhere in the ivy, a ground rule double. Padres 5, Cubs 3.
The greatest jerseys I think we've all seen. Dennis, Dale, Jimmy, and Jimmy's sweet wife Whitley, who came along with the trip as well. Want to ask you guys a couple questions. How did this, first of all, how'd the trip all come together? You guys all Chula Vista graduates from Hilltop?
Right. Yeah, all of us are. We came up with this idea just for a trip to go to get out. And then as Jerry Coleman died and Tony Gwynn died, Dale came up with the shirt idea. I'll leave that up.
Well, I want to ask Jimmy, how'd you decide who got what slogan?
Well, you know, I should have had the smaller names because I have the smaller shoulders, but he says "oh my" all the time. He's a big Jerry Coleman fan. He just got back from Afghanistan, lieutenant colonel in the Army. And I love Mud. I know he's from Chicago. Mud, love your brother.
Dennis, I want to ask you, I'm sure Wrigley Field's a bucket list for you to be here and to be 3 rows back and get to watch your favorite team.
This is the best seats I've ever had in a Major League game. To see the Padres and the Cubs in the oldest venue in baseball is amazing. And I just feel very lucky to be here and be able to spend this time with these good friends of mine.
We know that Jerry Coleman and Tony Gwynn would be very appreciated. And Mark Grant, your biggest fan club right here. Some kind of nice. They've been talking about you the whole time I've been sitting here.
Oh, that's nice. Well, you pass along our best. The professor is very very flattered as well for oh my. Nicely done, gentlemen. And of course, as Chris mentioned and the gentleman mentioned, The most important thing noticed on those jerseys is the 1919 in honor of the great late Tony Gwynn. Thanks, guys. That's great.
And Jerry Coleman.
Absolutely.
So we're on to the bottom of the 5th inning. Castillo, the catcher. Count 2-2 on him. He's grounded out. There's only at bat. And 3-2. Will Venable enters the game in center field, and Denorvia replaces Quentin in left field. (5-3). The Padres lead it. And that one slicing with a win into the right field corner. Nicely played. Oh, no, then a bobble, and by the time Francoeur can get it in, he overthrows it. Good stop by Nelson to deny a third base. You saw the rocket arm of Francoeur there. If he fields that one cleanly, Castillo's a dead duck at second. Leadoff double. Kennedy didn't want to give in on the 3-2 pitch.
Well, as this ball is sliced down the right field line, everybody's in motion. And you know what, Dick? We've seen Chris Nelson. We saw him make a spectacular play last night off the bat. Well, as this ball caroms off Amarista, Chris Nelson prevents the runner from going to third base. A job well done. And Jeff Francoeur doesn't seem like the arm has skipped a beat at all.
So leadoff double Castillo. Look at Chris Nelson hustling out there to keep that one from going into the bullpen area. That would allow Castillo easily access to third. Pinch hitter is Ryan Sweeney. No relationship to our pal back in San Diego. 0-1. Top spin. Justin Grimm and Carlos Villanueva begin throwing. 220 hitter. And 2-0. Well, he went 3-2 on Castillo, did Kennedy, and Castillo doubles. There are the Grimm and Villanueva, a couple of righties. It's a long top half of the inning here in the 5th, and on a cool, windy night. Kennedy may have lost a little bit of his rhythm. And 3-0. '70th pitch of the night. His control was impeccable until the 4th inning. Kennedy, when he walked 2 and with 2 outs, Valbuena hit the 3-run homer. That's a strike.
Just concentrating on working down in the zone right here. Up to 2 strikes, you get the strikeout, you get the strikeout. If you get the ground ball left side, keep the ball in front of the runner. That's an added bonus for Ian Kennedy. A sharp ground ball to Chris Nelson at third to keep that runner at second base.
You lost him. And that'll turn the order and go up to the leadoff man, Emilio Bonifacio. 3 walks now from Kennedy, and that brings Bud Black to the mound. Now, this is unusual. Normally, Aaron Balsley would be visiting Kennedy.
And as Bud Black is going out to the mound, action in the Padres bullpen, everybody up, and possibly going to see a hoodie come off or a jacket come off. But usually, you know what, Dick, every time we've seen Bud Black go out to the mound, this is a defensive type situation to where, hey guys, I want everybody to be on the same page. If this happens, here's what I want you to do. If this happens, this is what I want you to do. But the main thing that Buddy has always said here, whatever happens here, get an out. If the ball stays on the infield, get an out. Doesn't matter if it's second base, third base. If you get the lead runner, that's icing on the cake. But the bottom line, get an out.
And that was part of the mission, but I think also in there was a little verbal kick in the pants. As Eddie Kennedy, come on now, let's go.
Yeah, light a little fire on him, you bet. Maybe a pickoff on like the first or second pitch. That's always something that a manager can relay.
Bonifacio's flying to left and struck out tonight. The 2 runners for the Cubs, Castillo at second and Sweeney at first. Sweeney representing the tying run. And they play the bunt. Kennedy will go to first base. Ooh, covering Solarte, and that throw right into the runner. Well, Rick Renteria here at home in the 5th inning moves the runners up. And that takes us to our Sequan Daycation stat of the game. National League leaders, most strikeouts by pitchers. Kennedy enters the game 3rd in the National League with 137. It's now 141 with 4 strikeouts tonight. Mendy Alcantara struck out and bounced to the mound. One 4 on the sacrifice by Bonifacio. Ball 1. Alcantara up. Anthony Rizzo lurks on deck. Nelson in on the grass at 3rd. Rivera posing on that reception of the ball, hoping to get a strike call. 2-0. Ideally here you get Alcantara on a pop up or a ground ball, hold the runners, then you can walk Rizzo, pitch around him, and then you got right-hander against right-hander Castro. That's thinking a little far ahead, but that's what the managers do. That's a strike. 89 on that fastball. Rizzo tonight with a single and a walk.
That's why if you're thinking you're the hitter up in this situation, you're thinking you're getting some good pitches to hit, right?
Yeah, that's
because like you said, with Rizzo on deck, you bet.
He homered last night, Alcantara. And 3-1. Changeups float slowing away. Dale Thayer pitched an inning last night, struck out a couple. Pinch hitter Sweeney walking, and now 3-1 to Alcantara. And he walked him. Bases loaded for Rizzo. If there's anything Kennedy didn't want to do, that was it. Walking Alcantara to set the table. Bases full of Cubs for Anthony Rizzo. 25 homers and 55 runs batted in, among the National League leaders. One out.
So Bud Black will have the infielders set at infield position number 2, 1 out, hopefully for a ground ball, a double play, a little chopper out from the mound. He can't even go to the plate.
Able to pitch from a full windup now. They can't use the shift on Rizzo. Ball 1. Oh, going inside. Kennedy suddenly struggling with his control. 4 walks in the game to match his 4 strikeouts. Only 3 hits.
Tough catching up to that fastball, down and away. And there you see the breakdown this inning. 19 pitches, workload. More balls and strikes for Ian.
Only 7 strikes thrown. Another foul. Had a good cut.
Yeah, and a nice pitch. He got in on him. Tied him up a little bit.
Full boat of Cubs, 1 out, and the 1-2 delivery. Popped him up, but the wind's going to blow that one back into the crowd. Padres led 3-0. 3-run homer by Valbuena in the fourth tied it. Padres get 2 in the top half of this inning, the fifth. 4 walks helping them. Now 1-2. Struck him out. Boy, a little extra 93 on the fastball.
Well, is that a huge punch out for Ian Kennedy? No place to put him. A kid who's got some power. Let's go back to the first pitch. Way down and in. Skipping a little rope. Tries to go away. Rizzo can't catch up to it. Remember this. Heavy dose of fastballs. Fastballs. There's a little slider out of play. But the thing here, Ian Kennedy went in, out. Nice little tail action down and away. Looked like an upper body swing from Anthony Rizzo. 2 outs.
Now Castro, ball 1. Grounded one toward the hole. Headed for left field. That Nelson at third cut off and made a good play. Popped to second his last time. Consistent hitter. In the last 35 games, Castro's reached safely 32 of those 35 games. Players voted him to the All-Star game. Grounded to short. Amarista to second just in time for the force out. And that's some pitching by Ian Kennedy. Bases loaded, 1 out, and he gets the top 2 hitters in the Cubs order. Rizzo to strike out and Castro to ground out. Padres. First at bat is a Padre. Yankees Solarte with an RBI triple. That scored a couple of runs in the first inning. He too would score. Nelson with an RBI double. Bud with a 3-0 lead. A 3-run homer by Luis Valbuena. Padres come back. Medica with no one out drives one into the ivy. Disappearing shot that drives in a run, and then a bases loaded walk to give the Padres a 5-3 lead. Our Harris game summary. Kennedy has gone 5 innings, 3 hits, in trouble the last 2 innings because of wildness. Pitched out of trouble last of the 5th inning. Wada went 4 innings, allowed all 5 runs on 5 hits. He walked 4. 2 of those came around to score. Solarte's 2 for 2 with a walk and has scored 2 runs in his debut for Bud Black. As we go to the 6th inning, and Kennedy leads it off against the new right-hander for the Cubs, Carlos Villanueva.
I'll tell you what, Bud Black and Darren Balsley really have to be proud of Ian Kennedy battling. As you take a look at the numbers, almost a 6 ERA. Opponent's batting average, .316. And he features fastball, slider, changeup, and a curveball. About 86 to 93 on the fastball.
That ball hit into the left field corner. Foul. That one hooking foul off the bat of Kennedy had a good swing. He's over 2 tonight. Carlos Villanueva, third pitcher used tonight. Inside, 3-1. And if you're just joining us, the big news before the game today, Cameron Maybin has been placed on a 25-day suspension. And ball 4, double no-no. Walk the leadoff man, walk the pitcher. Another free ticket for the Padres, their 7th of the game. Mike D, the president and CEO of the Padres, disappointed in Cameron's violation of MLB's Joint Drug Prevention Treatment Program, but pleased that he's taking responsibility for his mistake. The joint agreement was put into place to protect both the player and the game, and the Padres fully support it. Maybin using a medicine for his ADD the second time, and thus the suspension. Denorfia, 2 walks and a strikeout tonight. So Maybin lost to the Padre cause for 25 games. See if the Padres can take advantage of the leadoff walk to the pitcher as Kennedy is at first base, and a foul back by Denorfia. 2 strikes on him. All 3 Cub pitchers, starter Wada, reliever Schlitter, and Villanueva, had walked the first batter that they faced. So along with the 5 hits, the Padres 7 bases on balls from the Cubs hurlers. Strike 3 calls, says plate umpire Titchener. Second time Denorfia called out on strikes. Brings up Solarte. Yeah, what a first game in a San Diego uniform by this 27-year-old, acquired from the Yankees for Chase Headley. Arrived last night, did not appear in the game. Makes his first start at second base. First time up, triples into the right field corner to drive in the first run of the game. Later scored himself on Quentin's sacrifice fly. Wedged a single into right center the next time up, and walked and scored in the 5th inning. Batting left-handed for the first time. First 3 at-bats coming against starter Wada, a lefty, so he was swinging from the right side.
Even though he swung and missed on that last pitch, looked like something off speed, I like the swing. It looks like an aggressive swing. Looks like an aggressive stance. He is ready to hack, and I like it.
Outside, 1-1.
Oh, you got to like those numbers, huh?
Hitting 1,000%.
Yeah.
See, you can come up with
That's
1,000
right.
here.
Yep.
Valencia, Venezuela. That was a good swing.
Yes, it was. Hey, if you're going to swing it, don't be afraid to swing it. And even though it was an aggressive swing, to me it looks like it was a swing that he was looking like going the other way. Left center field, left field from the left side.
Foul back. So 3 times up, 3 times aboard for Solarte. Knocked in a run, and he scored 2. In case you're just joining us, Chase Headley with a game-winning single last night for the Yankees in the 14th inning. And Solarte answers as a Padre with a big opening night.
High fastball.
High pop-up, right side of the infield for the second out. As a pinstriper, his numbers and a couple examples of not only his fielding prowess, but homering from both sides of the plate.
Hey, I like his energy, you know? Oh, hopefully a lot of that at Petco Park and on the road in the National League for the Friars.
Well, he just missed that last one, got under it. That was mile high. Well, Venable bats for the first time. He's in Carlos Quentin's spot, third in the batting order. It's an early substitution made by Bud Black. Hopefully that doesn't indicate there's something wrong with Quentin. In the dirt.
Well, thanks to you, Professor, that I'm going to be going to bed tonight with one song in mind that I will not be able to erase.
So
oh, here we go. Hey, I love the song, don't get me wrong, but now I've got it in my head.
Yeah, you can always substitute Take Me Out to the Ball Game.
Yeah, there he is.
No longer batting 1,000. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Venable at a 208 average. 3 home runs. Kennedy leadoff walk to open the inning, but Padres unable to move him around as yet. And away, trying to even the series. The Padres 5-3 lead tonight after being shut out last night 6-0. Final game tomorrow 5 o'clock here in Fox Sports San Diego. Tyson Ross on the mound for San Diego against veteran right-hander Edwin Jackson, who is 5-10 with an ERA at 5.61. And the count full. That'll give Kennedy a running start on the next delivery. Tommy Medica has an RBI double tonight. Fly ball left center field. Wynn bringing it in, and left fielder Coughlin makes the catch. Middle of the 6th in Chicago. Padres lead by 2. The 6th inning with a 5-3 advantage. Coughlin, Valbuena, and Shearholtz. 3 left-handed hitters lined up for the Cubs. So the Dodgers lose again in Pittsburgh. Giants with a chance to extend their lead atop the NL West to 2 with a victory. They're in Philadelphia.
Yeah, when they place the flags out there in order of the National League West, you want to see the Padres start creeping up on that, hopefully.
Well, you saw the Diamondbacks ahead of the Padres. They're in a virtual tie for 3rd place starting tonight.
So I think they went alphabetically, right? DP, right?
Well, Arizona actually is a percentage point or 2 better.
Ah, gotcha. See, that's where it gets confusing for me. It's percentage points. Alphabetically, I think I've got a chance. When it comes to numbers,
yeah,
all bets are off.
Well, that's because you get into those thousands.
Don't even get me started. Yeah, I've already got a song in my head, so don't even get the numbers. I'd rather have the song in my head than the numbers.
Coughlin has struck out, walked, and scored. He was one of the 2 walks in front of Valbuena's home run in the 4th inning.
So a big inning right here for Ian Kennedy here in the 6th after that stressful inning in the 5th. Boy, he battled. He made some good pitches to get out of that mess. A couple of walks, a double.
Got him off speed. Breaking ball, and that's strikeout number 6. And Kennedy continues to be a strikeout per inning or better pitcher.
Here's the curveball coming at you. 2 strikes. Chalk up another one in the K column for the right-hander Ian Kennedy. And now it's time to check the Cholula flamethrower. 93 miles an hour on the fastball this evening, topping out for Ian Kennedy. Add a little spice to your life on the fastball. 93 from Kennedy.
Valbuena, the home run the last time up, to account for all 3 Cubs runs tonight. His 6th of the season. Over the 4-run barrier of the Padres tonight. The 3-run barrier to get to 4. Where they're 30-5. Here's Valbuena the last time up. Got a hanging breaking ball and powered it just over the right field barrier a couple of rows back. Wind didn't impact that shot.
Yeah, believe me, Ian Kennedy remembers that pitch. If he elects to throw another curveball to Valbuena, he's going to have to make an adjustment and keep it down in the zone.
Challenged him with a 93-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yeah, he's thinking, you know what? I'm going to throw the heater. Why speed up his bat on a breaking ball? I don't want him to go yard on me, so I'm going to go hard away as Nick Vincent starts to heat up for the Padres in their bullpen.
Hey, Nick Vincent now off the DL. First chance to see him in a month or so. 1-2, now 2-2. High fly ball. That wind bringing it in, and racing in is Venable.
Wow.
Look how far the wind spanked that one back. That would have been about right where Venable was playing under normal conditions.
That was unbelievable. Even Will smiling a little bit. As watch where this ball is struck, and you see Venable
step back.
Yeah, he kind of pauses a little bit and then get into sprinter mode to make the grab.
He had to use full speed because he had taken a couple of steps back off the bat. It looked like that ball was hit pretty hard, but not into this wind. 2 outs. Ooh, good looking pitch there.
Yeah, it was.
Shearholtz has fouled out and struck out. So Ian Kennedy trying to continue the string of outstanding starting performances by Padre pitchers. You know, coming into this game, folks, the starters, the last 26 games, 24 times they've allowed 3 runs or less, including Eric Stoltz last night. 24 of the 26 starters, only 3 runs. or less.
Hey, they're pitching their tails off. No doubt about it. Fun to watch.
2-0. And that misses. 3-0 to Sherholtz. Castillo waits on deck. 2 outs in the 6th. Lost him on 4 pitches. That's 5 walks tonight from Kennedy. 2 pitches away from the century mark. Castillo is grounded to short and doubled into the right field corner.
Five 3-ball counts tonight for Ian Kennedy, and as you mentioned, Dick, 5 walks.
Broken bat, and that one goes right through the mound, and hopefully no one injured in the crowd. Man, now that is a javelin.
Yeah. Did he get in on him or off the end? Oh, probably in on him. Yeah, down by the label. And when I say the label, it was even below the label, it looked like. Time to grab a new shillelagh. Nice.
On the outside corner.
Dick, that's paint right there. Down and away for Ian Kennedy on pitch number 100. He made it a good one.
30,718 the attendance at Wrigley Field tonight. Junior Lake has a bat. He's in the on deck circle. Pitcher spot due next. And another broken bat. And Castillo doesn't get more than 2 steps out of the batter's box. He's out 1-3, and Kennedy has continued the string. 6 innings, allowing just the 3 runs.
At Wrigley Field on this noteworthy night indeed. 8/8/88. That's the date. And this bud's for you, Bill Murray.
I've been dying under these lights until you handed me this thing.
It's such a pleasure to see you, especially on a noteworthy event like this one.
Well, I don't know how I feel about night baseball. It's great in the minor leagues, but it's someplace else to go in town besides your restaurant, which is a good thing.
Harry Carey selling the suds. Bill Murray looking for a free meal. What a partnership that is.
100 years
here
at Wrigley Field.
And Harry Carey, a great part of that history. But the last ballpark, to Major League Park, to have lights, 1988.
And you know what's ironic, Dick? Harry Carey, born Harry Carabina. That was his given name. Last name, Carabina. Changed his name to Harry Carey because the station manager of his first radio job, you know where his first radio job was? Joliet, Illinois.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah.
as Villanueva goes to work in the 7th inning to Tommy Medica. I first heard Harry Carey when he was the voice of the St. Louis Cardinals, because they had a 50,000 clear-watt station. You could get that all over the Midwest.
Right.
Hear Carey.
KMOX, right?
Right. The ultimate glass half full optimist. I mean, I remember the games. Cardinals down 9-0. A couple of walks, 3 errors, 2 hits, and a missed fly ball. We're right back in it. 0-2 to Medica. Doubled into the ivy. The last time up. Drives this one to left field as well. That's a rope single as Coughlin gets it in. A 2-for-4 night for Tommy Medica. Once again, the Padres have the leadoff runner aboard.
Boy, Tommy Medica hitting the ball solidly the last 2 times up. As mentioned by Dick, the ball lost in the ivy, and this one scalded in between the third baseman and shortstop for the safety to left field for Tommy.
So Solarte and Medica, Padres with a couple of hits. Here's Jeff Francoeur, called up from El Paso. He's contributed a single and a walk, 1 for 2, scored a run. Big swing there.
A hanging breaking ball. Looks like Castillo may have gotten that off the hand, open hand, his throwing hand on that foul tip.
Boy, it's amazing that catchers don't break fingers more often. I mean, you see an old catcher and he puts up his hand and the index finger is pointing north and middle finger pointing south.
Yep. And that's why, as you see that foul tip, I remember talking to catchers, there's a couple ways, I remember actually my dad telling me growing up when I was catching, put that thumb, make a fist with your thumb underneath your fingers, right? Or keep your hand in a fist behind your knee so your hand is not exposed. But if you're going to keep that open hand in front of you, tuck that thumb underneath your fingers and make a fist.
Let's see how Castillo works it here. With a runner at first, he can't afford to hide his hand behind. He kind of hides it behind the shin guard, doesn't he? Now Johnny Bench took it to the extreme and caught one-handed.
Yep.
That was revolutionary.
Yep.
Yeah, you shake hands with an old catcher.
Oh, yeah.
You don't know. Are you trying to give me a sign language? The palm of my hand. What's going on in there? Looks like 5 pieces of spaghetti. And Francoeur goes down swinging. Second strikeout for Villanueva. And as we always promise you, the AT&T fan photo. Tweet your photo to hashtag SD fan photo. A chance to be shown in an upcoming telecast brought to you by AT&T. Hey.
Oh, how nice.
Bill and Rhodes. Oh, I guess that's in. Looks like it's in front of the ivy here.
It does, doesn't it?
1 out, 1 on. Chris Nelson, a double in 3 trips, drove in a run with that double to right center field back in the 4th inning. That gave the Padres a 3-0 lead, but in the bottom of the 4th, a couple of walks and a 3-run blast by Luis Valbuena tied it for the Cubs. Padres came right back in the 5th, using 4 walks and 1 hit, a double by Medica to get 2 more. That's where we stand, 5-3.
Good breaking ball. And Dick, I just got a little note from our great statistician here in the booth, Ethan, who does a fine job. The first radio station in Joliet where Harry Carey worked, WCLS in Joliet.
AM and FM?
I don't know what it was, but probably a little 5,000 watt station.
They have more than one station in Joliet?
Well, the big time now is WJOL 1340 on your AM dial. What was your radio station in Armada?
We didn't have one.
You didn't?
No.
Would you have carrier pigeon or what for the news?
Hey, you had to go down to the drugstore and get the paper.
Really?
Day old.
Yeah. Day old news like the day old donuts.
Yeah. Hey, the big news was on the The party line. You had 4 in our party line. That's where you got the real info.
I love that.
1-2. He went around. A couple of strikeouts in the inning for Villanueva. 2 away.
Tell you what, Villanueva knew exactly what to throw Chris Nelson there, because the previous pitch was the breaking ball down and away, and realizing, hey, I don't have to throw a strike. He went right back to the breaking ball for the strikeout.
That brings up Rene Rivera. Terrific at bat back in the 5th inning with the bases loaded. He was down 0-2, just kept fouling pitches off, worked the count to 3-2, earned a bases loaded walk to drive in his 23rd of the season. That was the 5th run of the game for San Diego. Another breaking ball hangs high. Nick Vincent continues to throw in the Padre pen. Fly ball to left, hooking into the corner. Coughlin with a long run gets there. Stretch half of the 7th at Wrigley. Padres 5, Cubs 3.
Rizzo going in and out, back and forth, skipping rope with the first pitch. Heavy dose of fastballs the first 3 pitches, then pulling the string a little bit. That's the foul ball that got out of play. 2-seam fastball down and away. Gets the big left-handed slugger swinging. And now enter Nick Vincent. So a nice job tonight by Ian Kennedy. He leaves with the lead. So hand it over to Nick Vincent.
Yeah, it's been a long time since he towed the slab. Some 6 weeks he was on the DL. Back on June 12th. Here we are, July 23rd. Had a couple of relief appearances, a rehab assignment in Lake Elsinore. Worked 2 scoreless innings. So he has to be feeling good. Back on the mound. He'll face Junior Lake, a pinch hitter for Villanueva. Comes out swinging, strike 1. So 30,718 here at Wrigley on a windy, cool night. 30-degree drop in temperature from last night. Outside, 1-1. Kennedy, 6 innings, 3 runs, 3 hits, 5 walks, 6 strikeouts. 3 hits, but only 1 damaging blow, the 3-run homer of Valbuena. Another outstanding start for Ian Kennedy. Stands to win his 8th game of the year. Slice to right. Wind would carry that, one would think, into the crowd, and does. Lake returns to the plate, 1-2 on him.
And there you see the Cubs box score. Ian Kennedy now handed over to Nick Vincent, keeping the Cubs quiet. Only 3 hits. Rizzo, Valbuena.
Castillo got a double. Yeah,
right.
Alex Torres getting ready. A couple of switch hitters, top of the lineup for the Cubs. And then Rizzo hitting 4 away. 89 on that fastball. 2-2.
Another Padre fan enjoying the friendly confines, especially right now with his Padres having the lead.
Fly ball right field. Wind blowing toward the right fielder, and Francoeur with the catch. 1 away.
Well, Dick, with 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th, let's take a look at the keys to the game. Let's revisit those keys, brought to you by the Honda dealers of San Diego. Solarte, Francoeur, make a splash. Yeah, make it up. Well, Solarte, 2 hits, RBI, a run. Jeff Francoeur, a walk, a single, and a run scored. And road work on the Kennedy Expressway. It's I-90 out north here to northwest out of Chicago. 6 innings for the right-hander. 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 5 walks, and 6 strikeouts.
Only one little fender bender, that Valbuena.
Little sig alert.
Yeah,
no big deal.
And then the traffic continued.
There.
Struck out 6.
Nice.
Bunted sharply. That's a tough play for the shortstop, and they can't make it. Amarista, that was a beautiful bunt by Bonifacio. It didn't just drop it softly, bunted it sharply past the third baseman, and that forced Amarista to try to make almost a miracle play. Too fast as Bonifacio, base hit.
Well, it was perfectly placed as it splits Nick Vincent and Chris Nelson. So hurrying is Amarista, and good job. As speed is something you can bring to the ballpark every day. Look at pick him up and put him down. And a nice job by Solarte backing up on that one behind first base as that play was developing.
So what Alcantara and Rizzo do next. Bud Black takes the ball and calls for Alex Torres. Pitching change at Wrigley. Padres lead by 2. San Diego presents Padres Baseball, brought to you by Petco, the power of together, and by your San Diego Lexus dealer. With Mark Grant, Chris Button, Dick Hendrick, welcome back to Wrigley Field in its 100th year celebration. Alex Torres comes in with 1 out, 1 on. Padres leading 5-3. There are his numbers.
0 for the ground ball, and for Alex Torres, opponents only hitting 212, righties that is, with the switch hitter up there. 219 average. off the lefty Torres.
Alcantara representing the tying run, way outside, ball 1. Torres has stranded 20 of his 22 inherited runners. That's the 6th best ratio in the National League.
Yeah, that's a stat that really relievers take pride in. They want to leave their teammates runners out there. That runner out there is for Nick Vincent. It's on his ledger. He wants to leave him stranded.
Alcantara out in front of that changeup. Anthony Rizzo on deck. The bunt single by Bonifacio assuring, for the moment at least, that the Cubs can bring the tying run to the plate here in the 7th. Bounces that one, 2-1. Rizzo, a single, a walk, scored a run, and struck out with the bases loaded. Kevin Quackenbush loosening up. Two and two.
Well, that ball's right down the middle. And just like that, you know, Rivera goes out to the mound, no runner on second base. That ball kind of popped out of his glove. I don't know whether he called for a got crossed up or what. And yeah, you know what? That's kind of a cross up. I don't know whether that's the difference of a. You know what? I don't know what it was.
That's what I thought.
But it was something as a cross up because he didn't catch that ball cleanly. He definitely went out to go say something to him. You know, you got the shadow with the gray pants, and Rivera has the fingernail markings.
Inside and the count full.
Looks like he's got the pink or the orange pieces of tape on the fingernail, so it's easier to see the signs with that shadow and the road unis.
A full count. With a runner at first and Rizzo waiting his turn.
And the wiggle indicating changeup from Torres.
Got him. That's a good pitch and a big pitch on a 3-2 count. You walk him, and then Rizzo has a chance to put the Cubs in the lead. 2 away.
No question about it. That is confidence in the secondary pitch. Fastball, changeup from Alex Torres in perfect spot. It splits the paint, but way down out of the zone for the swing and a miss.
22-year-old Alcantara fooled on that one. Rizzo, big moment in the game. With the Padres leading 5-3, bases loaded, only 1 out. Starter Ian Kennedy able to strike out Rizzo and then get Castro to ground out, the 2 top hitters for Chicago, with a chance to do damage, and Kennedy the better in that duel or duels. The one thing about Rizzo, and they all raving about the fact that he's always hit right-handed pitching well, but the left-hander's giving him a lot of trouble. Not this year.
Yep.
At this moment, he's got as many home runs, 8 against left-handed pitching, as all of last year. Yeah, 8 home runs against left-handed pitching, only 7 all of last year. And he's sitting on a 2-0 pitch here. Got squeezed. Torres there again, the high strike. Not called by Kitchener. He's been consistent both ways, both sides. For the first time here in Chicago, fans seeing the protective cap that Torres has adopted. Shift is on for Rizzo. 3-0.
3 off-speed pitches. Looks like 3 changeups to Anthony Rizzo. Missing. 3-0 as another chat from Rivera.
Solarte playing shallow right field in the shift. You don't want to feed him a fat one here. 3-0. Castro's on deck. Two outs. Bonifacio at first base. You see Solarte out there in shallow right.
Well, looks like Quackenbush out there is ready to go. He's been standing there for a while if he has to face Castro.
Green lighted, and that went off the mask of Rivera.
Hey, a couple of opportunities in this game where Anthony Rizzo has been the guy to make a difference. Remember, you talked about it, Dick, the strikeout with the bases loaded back in the 5th. And now in this situation, as it's a 2-seam fastball, he got extended. It was elevated and right off the forehead. The mask.
Man, that hurts just on the sound. Good old mask. So 3-1 now to Rizzo. Really crowds the plate. His arms right over the inside corner. And ball 4. A game full of walks on another one here. That's the 6th by Padre pitching.
Well, the first pitch was way away out of the zone. And you know what? Torres is going heavy dose of off-speed stuff. 3 in a row, 3 changeups. That was the one fastball where they gave the green light. Fouled it off the mask and then off-speed again.
So the tying run aboard. 2 outs in the 7th. Kevin Quackenbush beckoned from the bullpen. For Padres Live, the postgame show, our MLB insider Scott Miller will talk about the Padres reconstruction with the trades and moves made, and then of course another by Cameron Maybin being suspended for 25 games today, and probably some other possible deals, as well as looking ahead to the inductees at Cooperstown coming up on the weekend. So stay tuned, along with all the scores and highlights with Mike and Mark.
Well, now with 2 outs, enter right-hander Kevin Quackenbush. Nice numbers for Kevin. 170 opponent's batting average. Last time out was Sunday against the Mets at home. 3rd of an inning for the right-hander. And on the double switch, Yasmani Grandal will go put down the signs for Quackenbush.
So if you're keeping score, put Grandal in the 9th spot in the batting order. 2 on, 2 out to Castro. And the first pitch is in there. 90-mile-an-hour fastball. Castro hit taken away by a good play made at third by Chris Nelson. He's popped up and grounded out with the bases loaded after Rizzo had struck out in the 5th inning.
Hey, tighter switch situations right now for Kevin Quackenbush, right? Since the trade of Houston Street, so everybody moves up a little bit in the pecking order.
Ooh, good stop. Grandal tested on the second pitch since he came into the game.
Yeah. Well, that gentleman is keeping score.
Taking notes, putting in Quackenbush there in the pitcher's column. The third one used by Bud Black here in this inning. Vincent, Torres, Quackenbush. Vincent got an out. Torres 1 out. Quackenbush trying to close shop on the 7th with runners at first and second. 5-3 San Diego. Hits the outside corner at 90. A ball and 2 strikes to the Cubs cleanup hitter Castro. 3-time All-Star, and he's only 24. A little more on that one, but up high.
Yeah, that's exactly where he wanted it, because he knows he doesn't have to throw a strike to Castro.
Some of the fans across the street. That's all contentious state here in Chicago, because in this next year the Cubs plan to put up big scoreboard or message board in left center that's going to block some seats. Uh-oh, full count now. That means that Rizzo at first base with a running start. A chance to score on an extra base hit. Coughlin on deck. Three and two. Struck him out. Boy, he just reared back and challenged him with a good old country fastball. And that's it for the Cubs. They leave 2 in the 7th as Quackenbush, Vincent, Torres take care of the Cubs in the 7th. from the gang there on Fox Sports San Diego post-game show as we go to the 8th inning, and Alexi Amarista leads it off against the new pitcher Justin Grimm, former University of Georgia star. Alexi's grounded out 3 times, once into a double play with the bases loaded when the Padres got 2 in the 5th inning. Chance to really break it open. .94 on that fastball. Some good live arms for Rick Renteria.
They sure do, Dick. And Grimm sports a fastball. They can get up around 97 miles an hour to go along with that slider and curveball. Leads the team in relief appearances. This is the 46th appearance for the right-hander.
Takes something off on that pitch and drops it in for a 1-2 count. That was a breaking ball. He was acquired by the Cubs in the Matt Garza deal with Texas. Whoa!
Hey,
a Ryan Duran delivery.
Hey, the Padre fans are coming right at his nose. And they were ready for it.
Are they having a good time or what?
Oh, man. Coming at you guys.
Thank goodness for the screen. Oh, they're going to play that one. That would have been a scramble, those 3. Outside, and a full count Amarista.
See, this guy wanted no part of it. That's Doctor. Some kind of nice. He was going this way, and he was ready to get it, and then oh my! He was just sitting back and watching.
That's the way to do it. Fouled away. I mean, you have to be a hardened spectator veteran to sit behind the screen and not move when that ball comes back at you.
Absolutely right.
Natural instincts. But they do have select seats there, huh? Full count. And Amarista. And the trend continues. Every pitcher that's come into the game has allowed the leadoff hitter to reach safely. There he is, Tyson Ross, the All-Star, looking for his 9th win tomorrow night. Final game of this 3-game series, final game with the Cubs this year. Ross with that brilliant 2.70 ERA. And he's had himself quite a July. 2-2 with an 0.93 ERA and a batting average of 188. It all begins here on Fox Sports San Diego at 5 o'clock. We hope you'll join us. Padres with the beneficiaries of Cubs wildness. 8 walks allowed by Chicago pitching. Yasmani Grandal bats for the first time. Inserted in the double switch in the last inning. In the last inning. So Yada, the starter, he walked Denorfia to open the game, and Denorfia scored on Solarte's triple. Schlitter came in and he walked the leadoff man. Villanueva walked the first man he faced, and now Grimm walks the first batter that he's called upon to get out. They play Grandal not to pull. There's a nice gap in right center.
Yeah, outfield playing him to go the other way. Infield played to go that way a little bit.
Amarista with a half-dozen stolen bases.
That's 6, right? Or if you're talking Baker's dozen, 6.5.
No.
Right?
6.5 then.
Yeah, that's 13, right? Baker's dozen is 13, right?
Yeah, now you're going to get into donuts probably. Huh?
I'd like to get in some runs here in this inning.
Yeah,
right? Add on top of the 8th.
And an insurance run or 2 would not hurt at all. Big swing. It's 1-1. Grandal started last night. walked a couple of times.
See, Dick, here's what you don't want. See, that's a donut, a 0.
Right.
What you want in this hitting right here is like maybe something like that.
Yeah, nice, nice. Lowe gets away, and Amarista on his toes advances on the wild pitch. Oh, with no one out, the Padres have a man in scoring position.
Hey, that's huge right there. That is huge for the Padres. Nobody out. Make it hurt. And here's the wild pitch coming right at you. Breaking ball. Hey, sometimes you get the bounce, sometimes you don't. Great secondary lead, great recognition by Alexi.
Now ground ball, if he can pull the ball, might get a base hit. As time called, Castillo goes out. That big scoreboard out in center field, a couple of notes on that. When they first built that scoreboard in 37, there were over 300 holes, not just for the scores, but 300 holes so that the wind would pass through.
Oh, I got you.
I don't know if that's still the case, but initially that was part of the construction, and it wasn't green initially. It was reddish brown. They painted it green during the war.
I love that scoreboard.
See, they're just the slots for the various scores now.
Yeah.
Randall swings and misses, 2-2.
You know, I'm sure through the years, Dick, as this park got older, that they, reinforced that scoreboard, because it looks like, there's people inside there and changing those numbers out there, those tiles, and there they are having a good old time.
Hey, not a bad view of the game, huh? 2 balls, 2 strikes to Grandal. There goes Amarista, and the throw to third. No throw. Amarista steals third. Now that's a big play. His 7th steal puts him 90 feet away for the insurance run.
He didn't even get a secondary lead. He just first move off and going. Great recognition. It looks like that Grimm kind of one-looked him a little bit. Now Rick Renteria will bring the Cub infield in.
In tight. Valbuena, Castro, Bonifacio, Rizzo around the horn right at the edge of the grass. 3-2 to Grandal. He had a good rip at that one.
And you know what? He might be a little reluctant, Grimm that is, to throw that breaking ball again. Remember, the other one was in the dirt, so he might be thinking fastball here. Great opportunity for Grandal to get something to hack at.
Excellent point.
Or if he does throw the breaking ball, he might hang it. But that could spell trouble.
Yeah. Infield tight, hitter's delight for Grandal. And he earns another walk. Goodness. 9 walks, but Cubs pitching tonight.
Hey, Friday on Fox Sports San Diego, catch an all-new Padres POV. This week we take you behind the scenes of Padres Live. Plus, we get inside the story of 105 years young Agnes McKee, who became the oldest person to throw out a first pitch at the Padres game earlier this
she
week.
was beautiful.
That was great.
She used the old windmill windup.
Yeah, we also catch up with former Padres Steve Finley. All that and much, much more in Padres POV Friday after Padres Live.
So they're going to go behind the scenes, Padres Live? You mean like Mike Pomerantz and Mark Sweeney?
They do a great job.
Do they go into in their dressing room and stuff like that?
You're going to have to tune in and find out. See, that's called the tease.
How Mike Pomerantz maintains that handsome look of his.
And how he puts on his makeup before he hits the airwaves.
Sweeney never uses makeup.
Oh, he's too beautiful.
Too tough. I wonder if he combs that little, what do you call that
little flavor saver there?
Flavor saver?
Yeah.
I bet they.
No, that's a billy goat. Like that's a goatee.
Goatee,
a little goatee.
I'll bet they'll show how he combs that really carefully.
We could do that.
Yeah. Well, anyway, don't miss it.
Yeah, you want to tune in.
So 1st and 3rd, big chance for the Padres to add to their 5-3 advantage here in the 8th inning. Walk setting it up along with that big steal of third by Amarista. So Grandal joins him at first base, top of the order. And Seth Smith comes up to hit for Kristen Orfia. Infield plays it halfway now. Corners will come to the plate. And up the middle, Castro and Bonifacio want to give themselves a chance at a double play. Canherves Solarte, the new Padre infielder, is on deck. First and third. And a drive over the driving try of Bonifacio. On his way to third goes Grandal on a sharp pinch single. Seth Smith jumps into the game and delivers. It's 6-3 Padres. Oh, he can hit.
He most certainly can. And you talk about coming off the bench here on a cool night and coming up with a hot result. Look at him throw the head of that bat. Getting on top of some serious topspin. And that's a good sound just out of the reach of Bonifacio. Everybody moves up. There's an insurance run. Hoping for another one here.
And Marista checks in. It's a 6-3 score. That'll bring a smile. And Solarte with an RBI triple and scored. A bloop single. Walked and scored and popped up the last time, batting left-handed. Now the infield in tied again. That's interesting. They move back with Smith up. Now they come in. And Rick Renteria figuring he can't allow any more runs. 6-3 now. But Solarte, lots of holes with those infielders in so tight. How about that? His first at bat as a Padre. He drives in a run, a triple, and then scores a run.
Now it looks like the middle infielders are moving back a little bit there, Dick.
Chop toward first and bobbled there, and they still get him at first base. And moving to second is Smith, but holding at third, Grandal. So second and third, one out now. That very nearly was misplayed by pitcher Grimm as he and Rizzo fought for the ball.
Grimm's reaching for it. It's like, I've got it, you take it. The end result is they do get an out. Boy, Grimm, man.
Bonifacio alertly covering at first base.
And you know, good job by Solarte busting it down that line, not taking it for granted.
And they're going to walk Venable to load the bases. So that'll be the 10th walk tonight given to the Padres. That is the most this season. You ought to be able to win the game with 10 walks.
So it'll be righty on righty. Grimm versus Medica.
Third walk from Grimm in the inning. Well, Tommy Medica early in the game, he's 2 for 4 after a couple of walks to Solarte and Quentin. Medica stepped up, and we'll show you what he delivered. Perhaps he can deliver some more poison ivy. Here it is, a drive into the wind. Didn't quite carry to the stands. Where'd to go? A ground rule double. They'll find that when the ground's crew tomorrow, maybe. They found a 1955 Dodge in there one year. Last time with 10 or more walks in the game a couple years ago against the Reds. We're very generous. All right, bases loaded, one out. Medica with an RBI tonight, a chance for more. Takes a breaking ball for a strike. Padres got 2 runs in the 5th inning to break the 3-3 tie on only 1 hit. Medica's double. Grandal, Smith, Venable aboard. 1 out. Two strikes now on Medica. Jeff Francoeur, if you're just joining us, just called up from El Paso. The veteran outfielder has delivered a hit tonight. He's on deck. Left field shallow, ball dying in a hurry, and there's the win. Wind blown, held up single for Medica, and the Padres now have a 4-run lead as Grandal checks in. Medica playing the conditions like a good golfer. He's 3 for 5 with a couple of RBIs.
Yeah, he went down a club here. Don't you think, Dick?
Yeah. I mean, that looks like a routine fly to left, and the wind just spanks it down.
Yeah, you know, if he uses the 6-iron there, that's a fly out. He goes to the 7-iron and dumps it just before the outfielder's there for a base knock.
Base is still loaded.
Hey, look at that. Okay, now let's
they're copying your artwork.
Let's do that next.
Okay.
How about that?
Francoeur. Padres with 2 more here in the 8th to pad their lead. 4-run advantage. Still just 1 out with the bases full.
I'd like to see Frenchie lay into one here.
Big swing.
You can see what Grimm's trying to do. Keep it away. First 3 pitches away, away, away. And Jeff's career numbers with the bases blowing a .08, 266 average. 1 grand slam in his career.
Smith at third. Venable at second, and Medica with 3 hits tonight at first. And that ball is hit. If not for the wind, that would have been a grand slam. Even at that, it gets all the way to the warning path, and that'll send Smith in on a jog, and it's a 3-run inning. It's 8-3 Padres, so they're beyond grand slam range. Francoeur tonight gets his first Padre hit and his first Padre RBI. Boy, a good night for the new faces, Solarte and Francoeur. There's your 3.
There you go. Now let's make that a 4. Nice going, Jeff Francoeur. Deep to the outfield, sac fly, and Bud Black likes it. Dave Roberts likes it. Everybody likes it.
Chris Nelson, the 8th man to bat in this 8th inning. Has an RBI double in 4 trips.
That's 2 balls tonight that Francoeur could have hit out of the ballpark.
You're right. There's no question that's a home run on, not with the wind blowing out, just on a quiet night with no wind.
Hey, and you know what? That's a hang with them. Cubs got a hit like tonight also with the wind blowing in. It's just what you have to deal with coming to Wrigley Field every day. You never know which way the wind's going to be blowing, and you have to deal with it.
Medica's fly ball is a routine out. He gets an RBI single. Francoeur crushes one, but does get the sacrifice fly RBI. 1-1. In the dirt, strike 2. So on the night with all the walks, 10 walks. Let's count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4 of them become runs. Watch out. Ooh, that did catch the screen. Late swing from Nelson. Should he keep it going, Rivera would come up. A crooked number here in the 8th inning. 2-2 now to Nelson. That ball hit sharply, bobbled briefly by Bonifacio, but he's able to throw out Nelson for the final out. Padres get 3 more on only 2 hits and lead at 8-3.
3, and Sunday, August 3rd is U.S. Army and Army National Guard Appreciation Day presented by USAA. Join us for a special pregame ceremony honoring the men and women who serve in the U.S. Army and Army National Guard. Before the Padres take the field, they're going to play the Braves that day. First pitch at 1:10. If you want to join us, get your tickets today at Padres.com or get on the horn. Dial 619-795-5555.
There's Jeff Francoeur, Solarte at second base. They've done a great job tonight. Part of the 8 runs on only 8 hits, but 10 walks from Cubs pitching.
Hey, they've made a splash tonight.
They have. I think that goes back to Mark Grant's keys to the game. Kennedy Highway, Freeway. Whoa, one hop to Amarista. Hot hands and throws out. Chris Coughlin, one away. As Quackenbush continues his work here in the 8th inning. Smith taking over in left field after pinch hit, single, RBI single. Valbuena has accounted for the only run scored by the Cubs tonight. That was back in the 4th inning. Kennedy lost some of his control and walked Rizzo with 1 out and Coughlin with 2 outs, and Valbuena homered into the right field bleachers. And that's been it for Chicago. And here it is. But for this swing, the Padres would have an 8-0 shutout working.
It was a hangy breaky ball on the outside part of the plate, speeding up the bat of Valbuena. But Ian Kennedy really battled tonight. Just that one bad pitch.
6th home run of the season for Valbuena. Kennedy, in case you're just joining us, 6 innings, 101 pitches, allowed those 3 runs on only 3 hits. Did walk 5 and struck out 6. So you're now 143 strikeouts, 3rd best in the National League. Line to left. Smith there for the catch.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the San Diego Padres that may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and description of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres.
Now, see, that was, you use more emphasis, you use some nice pauses there. I mean, it's all memorized.
Yeah,
People don't realize how, that brain, that brain of Mark Grant has that all memorized, and now you're putting flavor in there.
I appreciate it. So what would you grade me? I know you're a tough grader.
I think now with the inflection, I got to give you a B+ now.
B+ only?
Oh, man, you got to work on it. See, it shouldn't just be a lot of words you're reading.
I know.
Now
Should have some meaning and some feeling.
You're giving feeling.
I appreciate that. I'll take that to heart. Have you ever given an A?
Well, if it was earned. You don't give A's, you earn A's.
I like it.
Nate Scherholtz. Quackenbush giving up a couple of hard hit balls, but for outs. A sharp shot to short off Coughlin's bat, and Valbuena with that clothesliner to left that Smith grabs for the 2nd out. Scherholtz a walk, fouled out, and struck out tonight. Grounded. Whoa! Bad hop. Nicely handled by Medica for the 3-1 putout. And a 1-2-3 inning for Quackenbush. The Quackmeister gets the job done. To the 9th we go. 8-3 San Diego.
clubhouse. We were interviewing him, and I noticed that he had this little bit of a boo-boo on the forehead. So the investigative reporter in me was a little curious what had happened to Frenchie.
So I'll go ahead and explain this right here. Last night when I was packing my bags, a bat came down and smoked me right here and gashed me in the forehead. So I could have said I beat somebody up or did something like that, but yeah, so it is what it is. I said it looks tough. You know, I look like a hockey player.
Nice story. I don't know if I really believe him. I'm thinking trying to climb out of the ceiling from the bathroom after getting locked in the coach's bathroom might have been how he did that.
Thank you, Chris. He's been smiling since the warm-ups and batting practice. So happy to be back in the big leagues and contributing to this 8-3 lead as James Russell comes in to pitch. The fifth man used by Rick Renteria. Russell, a 28-year-old. And he's been mentioned in trade talk here in the final week of the potential trade season.
Yeah, with those numbers, I can see where a contending team could use the left-hander. One of two left-handers for Rick Renteria in that Cubs bullpen.
Brooks Conrad will pinch hit for Kevin Quackenbush. Conrad broke out of an 0-for-19 slump with a double last night. 1-1. And Dale Thayer with an 8-3 lead apparently will be the Padre pitcher in the ninth inning. 1-2. Russell quoted in the papers, Darwin Barney released by the Cubs, and was a close friend of him, and of course the trade of the two top pitchers to the Oakland A's. Fly ball. Let's see what the wind does to this one. It blows it back toward second baseman Bonifacio. One away. Alexi Amarista has grounded out 3 times, once into a double play, walked and scored the last time. The hits, Solarte with 2. Medica with 3. Francoeur with 1. Nelson with an RBI double. And Seth Smith with an RBI pinch single. That ball ripped into the right field corner. Foul. And the wind takes and the wind gives. In this case, that would have been a double under normal conditions. It really has been a game in which pitchers and hitters have to consider the elements and play to them.
Yeah, believe it or not, on July 23rd here in Chicago, it's a blanket night.
That's so hard to believe that 24 hours ago we were soaked to our socks. It was so hot and humid. Chopper to short, Castro an in-between hop. 1 away. 2 away, rather. As Conrad had popped up, and that'll bring up Grandal. So it appears tomorrow will be the rubber game of the 3-game series, with Tyson Ross on the hill for the Padres and right-hander Edwin Jackson for the Cubbies. Batting right-handed this time, left-handed when he entered the game in the last inning. He walked, so he's walked the last 3 times up in the series. Put on base the last 2 times. He was at bat last night. Padres 8 runs on 8 hits and 10 walks. The Cubs 3 runs on 4 hits. The 1 hit, the 3-run homer to account for their runs off the bat of Valbuena. Seth Smith itching to get another chance to swing the stick. He's on deck. 3-1.
Those people right there, they're the gamers. They're sticking around to the last out. They bought a ticket. They're in one of the best seats of the house here at Wrigley Field, out in the bleachers. They're going to enjoy it.
Under windy, chilly conditions. 30,718 started. 3-2, and Grandal has walked 4 straight times. 2 tonight, 2 the last 2 at bats last night. Yet another free ticket for the Padres. 11 of those tonight. First by Russell. That brings up Seth Smith for the second time. Denorfia started leading off, walked a couple of times, scored, struck out twice. Smith as a pinch hitter, an RBI single, scored in the 8th.
And remember, Padre fans, after this one, stay tuned for Padres Live, the postgame show. Mike Pomeranz, Mark Sweeney, Scott Miller's going to join the boys. Talk about the happenings in baseball.
Shift is on. Left side of the infield wide open for Smith. Bonifacio positioned out in shallow right.
And Rizzo there at first base, playing behind the runner. Outfield playing him to pull.
Two and 0. Smith's pinch hit gives him 4 for 10 off the bench this year with a couple of RBIs. 30 on the season total. That's a strike, 2-1. Well, it's been a power shortage of sorts for the Padres the last 6 games. 3 times they were shut out.
Yep.
Making amends tonight with 8 runs. Another good swing. Just so compact.
Yeah. Looks confident up there. Has a good command of the strike zone. Has a great idea of what he's doing, what he's trying to do. And this Padre fan wants to catch a little history here at the friendly confines. Let's get a picture of that sweet swing from Seth Smith. Try saying that.
Yeah, that's right. The tongue twister. Sweet swing from Seth Smith. Hazardous to your health.
Yeah.
Say that 5 times.
Don't try that at home, folks.
Especially if you're under 21. A full count. Off goes Grandal with the pitch. And it's fouled out of play. Well, you can understand with the home side down by 5 runs on an uncomfortable cool night after last night's uncomfortable hot and humid evening. And just a few of the faithful here at the friendly confines. Most of them Padre fans.
Yep.
Ground ball to the first baseman Rizzo. He'll take it to the bag himself. That's it for the Padres in the 9th. Bottom of the 9th, it'll be Castillo leading it off. And welcome back, bottom of the 9th inning. Plenty of base traffic for the Padres with 11 walks tonight. That's just one shy of their all-time game of 12 a couple times in the past. Generous, the Cubs pitching, and the Padres taking advantage as Dale Thayer trying to get the final 3 outs here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Castillo, a double in 3 trips. Looks like old buddy John Baker is going to get in the game.
Yeah.
He's in the on-deck circle. 1-2.
He doesn't have a monocle or an ascot. He was one of the guys that on a road trip, man, he would like dress in themes, you know. He'd have the velvet suit on with the ruffled shirt. He'd have the monocle with the ascot. He would bring the cane. He'd wear the top hat.
Wonderful character.
Yes, good guy to have on a team.
Very bright. 2-2. Rip just foul. Wrigley Field and AT&T Park in San Francisco, 2 of the parks where you can see the warm-ups because they're right down beyond the dugouts. Swing and a miss, and Castillo is out of there. First strikeout for Dale Thayer. That'll bring up John Baker. Yeah, just in case, that's just to get a little throwing in for Benoit.
Yeah, we've seen Benoit do that before as our friend. Now that's oh my right there.
Well, see, now I tell this, you could be dropped out of the oh my club if you go too much to the camera. You know, you got to.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys.
You got to be cool about that. Baker grounds it to Medica. 3-1 on the putout. And the Cubs are down to their final out. They're having a little trouble handling that throw.
Yeah. This is oh my right here. Some kind of nice, and that's oh doctor.
Sounds like an Abbott and Costello routine.
Hey guys.
Yeah. What that? Oh. Sign language. Uh-oh. I hope that was a clean joke.
You know what's great about that story is those guys. They said Chris said they went to high school together, right?
Yeah.
Hilltop High.
Getting together.
That's great.
Coming to Chicago, having a good time, coming to the ball yard, staying to the final stroke. Good on you, gentlemen. Bonifacio. That'll sail out of play.
You know, I'll. It's probably safe to bet that none of these guys were valedictorian at Hilltop High.
I don't know. I think doctor.
Yeah.
Isn't he? Didn't they say he's a lieutenant colonel?
Yeah, this guy right here.
Yeah. I bet you wouldn't want to take a test with him.
No. He's giving the signs.
Fly ball to left. This should do it. Wynn will hold it up neatly for Smith, and the ball game is over. The Padres 8, the Cubs 3. Padres Live coming up. Let's go to Mike Pomerantz.